2014 Bydgoszcz, Poland, where against the odds Team Denmark win the Monster Energy Speedway World Cup. In one of the best finals ever seen in the competition's history, the Poles went into the last heat decider tied on 36 points with the Danes, meaning Janusz Kolodze in the white helmet had to finish ahead of Denmark's Niels Christian Iversen in the red helmet to secure the gold medals. Something he thought he'd done for 4 laps of the final until the last corner of the last lap when Iversen passed him to break Polish hearts and steer Denmark to a famous victory by just 1 point. The World Cup is now a truly global competition with 9 teams competing from around the world, from the USA to the Southern Hemisphere and Australia, back north to Russia and Europe. So we started this year's competition in Gniezno, Poland, before travelling here to King's Lynn in the UK for Event 2, and then we head to Vojens, Denmark for the race-off and the final. The format sees the country hosting the race-off and final, last year's world champions Denmark, seeded straight through to the World Cup final in Vojens. Teams winning their respective qualifying event will join the Danes in that final, and teams finishing second and third go to the race-off, where only one team will qualify for the last place available. Look out for the joker for double points, and there's only 4 riders in a team, and they race over 20 heats. So this year's World Cup kicked off in Gniezno, Poland, where the home nation took on Russia, Sweden and the Czech Republic for the first direct place into this year's final. It was a bad start for the home nation as this crash saw their captain and talisman Jarek Hampel break his leg in 2 places, leaving the Poles to race with just 3 men for the rest of the meeting. Despite the support of the home crowd and an early lead, the Polish side were unable to hold off Team Sweden, led by Andreas Jonsson, as the Swedes eventually tied up the meeting to progress directly through to the final, with the Poles being joined by Russia in the race-off.
Hi there, yes, welcome along to the Adrian Flux Arena in Norfolk, Great Britain, and another packed house here, as it always seems to be for this particular event in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. We have 4 nations ready to do battle tonight. We have Great Britain, we have the USA, Australia and Latvia. We know, of course, already that Poland and Russia are into the race-off, and we know that Sweden are already through to the final. So tonight we have the group winners going straight through to Vojens next Saturday in the final, and the second and third into the race-off on Thursday. So here we go. Kelvin Tatum alongside me. Should be a terrific meeting. Great crowd again, Kelvin, and always a good racetrack here.
Yeah, fabulous conditions. It's been a gorgeous day. I've got to say the track staff have worked really well. They had a stock car meeting here on Saturday night, and we've had practice at midday. They've relayed the track, and I must say it looks absolutely terrific. Plenty of grip, in actual fact. They've put a fair amount of fresh material on in between practice and this opening race. Good crowd in. A little bit breezy out there, maybe a bit chilly in the wind, but ideal racing conditions and a very competitive lineup, and plenty of excitement about the upcoming event.
Yeah, and a terrific lineup for heat number 1 coming up with a debut boy in the World Cup against 3 more experienced riders. Heat number 1 is on the way shortly. Opening race of the night then here in Norfolk, and it's Jason Doyle for Australia off the inside gate in white. Greg Hancock, the reigning world individual champion, is off gate 2 in blue. Robert Lambert, the 17-year-old debut boy for Great Britain, off gate 3 in red. And Andrzej Lebedev, a former King's Lynn rider, he goes off the outside in yellow for Team Latvia. Kelvin Tatum alongside me. Kelvin, as a debut, they don't come much tougher than this for young Robert Lambert in red.
Indeed they don't. With the quality of the lineup, Jason Doyle has been fabulous for Team Australia in the last 2 seasons. Greg Hancock has been outstanding as well, scoring a whole hatful of points in his World Cup outings in the previous 2 years. Lambert, of course, rides here for the King's Lynn Stars and is a real top performer these days, has been piling the points in. And Andrzej Lebedev, so just sense that these grippy conditions in Britain may prove to be quite a challenge for him, but a smashing lineup for the opening race here tonight.
3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third. finishing last gives you absolutely nothing. And here we go, Greg Hancock from gate number 2, absolutely textbook for the USA. Greg Herbie Hancock, second place is Doyle, third is Robert Lambert, and the Latvian Lebedev has packed up in the first lap of the race. Watch out for Lambert though, he's got a lot of speed and almost collects the back wheel of Doyle as he goes into lap number 2.
Yeah, in actual fact the youngster just missed the start, but the man out in front didn't. But Jason Doyle coming at him really hard. Hancock there just running a little bit wide in turns 1 and 2. Second time around has to ride a little bit defensively. Got to say Doyle looks very threatening in second place. You could throw a blanket over all 3 riders. Certainly Hancock maybe a little bit under speed because Doyle looks really fast in second place. It's just over a lap to go. This is a super race for first and second.
Doyle giving it absolutely everything. Jason Doyle, who rides here in the UK for the Leicester Lions. Greg Hancock kicking on. He made a beautiful gate here in the first race of the night for the USA. Greg Hancock takes the checkered flag, still hugely popular here in Great Britain with his legion of fans. He used to ride here regularly in the UK for a number of clubs, Greg Hancock, and as a reigning world champion, that was typical Hancock from gate number 2 with a textbook start, chased every step of the way by Jason Doyle of Australia.
Yeah, good opening ride for Greg Hancock. As I said just prior to the race, he has been outstanding in the last 2 World Cups. Of course, he's the reigning world champion, and he rode like the world champion there. What a start he made. Clean pair of heels, but it wasn't easy because Jason Doyle put plenty of pressure on.
Yep, there's a result then. Hancock, Doyle, Lambert and Lebedev, who packed up in the first lap of the race there, the Latvian. So it means that the American side of the early leaders after the opening race of the night. But Doyle very much on the pace, as was Lambert, made a real go of it.
Yeah, he did, and Lambert just missed the start, unfortunately. And that was a shame for him. We've got riders now coming out for Heat 2. Of course, the World Championship leader there, Ty Woofenden, coming out. A rare British appearance for him. We now see the start again, and it's a fabulous start indeed from the American, Greg Hancock. Brilliant round the first corner. Lebedev there on the outside, unfortunately for him. His bike gives up the ghost. Hancock just sensational to the first corner. Doyle giving chase. Lebedev's packing up. Lambert was hard charging back in third place, his first ride in the World Cup there, just lifting hard behind Jason Doyle early on in the race. But that man out in front, no surprise to see him there, and once again just showing what it's all about, making such a fabulous start.
So here we go with the second race of the night. Greg Hancock, superb ride for the 45-year-old, celebrated his 45th birthday last week and still as strong as ever on the Speedway bike and challenging, no doubt, for the world title again.
Well, riding like a teenager.
Gino Manzera's going off the inside in blue here, has had his injury problems this season. Ty Woofenden, the World Championship Series leader, is off gate 2 in red for Great Britain. Maxim Bogdanov's, now we know he can be very, very quick on his day. He goes off gate 3 in yellow. And Troy Batchelor, who started his British career as a Kings Lynn rider, is off the outside in white.
Yeah, and still has strong links to this part of the world. He has a very good sponsor here. And there's no question that he has a, quite an affection for this club, and would be very keen to do well. Although he has had an injury hit season so far, he's been up and down with his form. Woofenden, of course, leads the World Championship. He comes out of gate 2, won his 3rd Prague Grand Prix just a couple of weeks ago. So here we go.
Yep, heat number 2 it is, and Woofenden off gate number 2 has made a beauty for Team Great Britain. Now, what can the man in white do coming around the outside here? Troy Batchelor for Australia holds second place right now. Third in blue is Gino Manzera's with Bogdanov, the Latvian, at the back. Batchelor loses it there going into lap 2, but Woofenden oozing confidence, riding well in Wrocław in Poland and Vetlanda in Sweden and in the GP as well, and oozing confidence here.
Yeah, and these sort of conditions suit him down to the ground. I spoke to him, he said he's got a new motor from Peter Johns, said he absolutely loves it. And you can see why. He is stretching the lead and looks fabulous out in front. Batchelor trying hard, lifted hard early in the race, but was managed to save it. Gino Manzera is in 3rd, and unfortunately for Bogdanov, he's tailed off. These conditions not quite suiting the Latvian, but Ty Woofenden smashing out in front.
Yeah, chasing his 3rd British title next Monday at Wolverhampton as well. Ty Woofenden with the victory from Troy Batchelor. And Gino Manzera's the American there in 3rd place on that occasion. But Ty Woofenden so quick from gate number 2 there, and getting the better of Batchelor. From all the hard work there was really done from the gate for Ty Woffenden. It's a rare appearance on a British track, but they still love him here in Great Britain because he is the World Championship leader, born in Scunthorpe, and delighted to be racing here in Great Britain again tonight. Here's the result. Woffenden the winner with Batchelor second, and third place there Manzarres, and it means that it's level now between 3 nations after heat number 2. Great Britain, USA and Australia with 4 points apiece. Latvia yet to trouble the scorers.
Yeah, it's even Stevens at this early stage of the night. Once again, the quality of Woofenden and Hancock, you saw that quite clearly, the way they reacted away from the tapes. Absolutely jet propelled. Once again, gate 2 working really nicely, and Woofenden, who didn't practice early today, felt that he had it all under control, and this is why, you know, he just shows a clean pair of heels to the opposition, well over the front wheel, well over the white line on the first corner, and he stretches away out in front. Batchelor coming through into second place for the Australians. He lifts quite violently here coming out of turn 4 on the opening lap, but was able to cope with that with Manzarres back in third place. But the style and the composure and the confidence of Woofenden was clear to be seen here, and he delights the home crowd.
Yeah, Woofenden, born in Scunthorpe and rode for his hometown club at the start of his career when his parents brought him back over to Europe from Australia, where Robin Sue, his parents, emigrated to, and came back to Scunthorpe, and that was the start of what has proved to be a glittering career.
Yeah.
As we move on to heat number 3 now, Danny King off the inside in red for Team Great Britain, who was part of the Great Britain squad last year. Another rider who was part of the squad was Simon Stead, who is still on the injured list, and we wish Steady all the very best. Up in Sheffield, recovering from his injuries. Danny King off the inside, Chris Holder off 2 in white. Max Rummel, talented young American. This is a big moment for him off gate 3 in blue. And Kas Podzeuks, with plenty of experience, the Latvian, going off the outside gate. Heat number 3 it is. And Chris Holder has made a good one off 2 and has got the drop on Danny King. Super ride from Chris Holder. Had a good meeting here in the British Elite League recently and has made a fantastic start there with Danny King second now. Podzeuks around the outside in yellow, with Max Rummel trailing at the back, but Chris Holder is a man in form, Kelvin.
He is indeed. He was here with the Poole Pirates not so very long ago and scored a really big, a whole handful of points in actual fact. Made a super start from gate 2. Gate 2 working supremely well early on in the race. Danny King coming in the World Cup squad is looking good. He's been in super form for Coventry Bees, and no wonder why. He's keeping the former world champion honest out in front. The Latvian in third, and Max Rummel is back in fourth place. But gotta say, Danny King's having a very good ride here in second place.
Certainly is. Looked very quick in a rain-affected meeting at Coventry last Monday against Poole when these two were in battle, and Holder has held the line. He's piling up the points right now. The 2012 world champion Chris Holder from Danny King in second place. Third there went to the man in yellow, Kas Podzeuks. So it's a first point on the board for Latvia tonight. And it means that Australia now lead the meeting by a point. You do feel that it's going to be pretty tight for a large part of the meeting.
Well, the betting suggests that it's very close between Great Britain and Australia, and it will be nip and tuck, I'm sure of that. But the former world champion, who's regained a lot of confidence in the last fortnight, really looked very good out in front there.
Yep, Holder from King from Podzeuks, who had to fight away the challenge of Max Rummel, the American there. This is how it stands after 3 heats. Australia 7, Great Britain 6, USA are on 4. Latvia have 1 point now. 3 heats gone. A reminder of the rules of the World Cup, by the way. If you're a nation that are 6 behind the leading nation, you can go for a tactical substitution, and indeed you can bring a rider in for double points once under the Joker rule as well.
Here we're seeing the replay. Chris Holder fabulous away from gate 2. Gate 2 has been dynamite in the opening races. Good tussle between the Latvians and the USA for third place early doors. Holder, of course, the 2012 world champion out in front. He comes under pressure from King. King keeps him very honest indeed, and then the chase to the line of just hanging on. I think he'll be looking for a little bit more speed in his next ride. But nonetheless, he's done the job for the Australians, and a decent start for him.
Yep, heat number 4 coming up, and it's a debut in the World Cup for the man in white. the Australian rider Nick Morris. This is Ryan Fisher that we're focusing on, but Nick Morris is coming out the quick way.
Yeah.
He'll be a nervous young man because Nick Morris is making his World Cup debut, born and bred in Australia, but to English parents in Lee and Wendy, who, well, this man, Alan Rossiter, and Nick's parents have been going on at him to ride for Team Great Britain, but he just felt it was right to ride for the country of his birth and where he was brought up.
Yeah, it's in his DNA, isn't it? He was born and bred there, and it would have been probably slightly odd for him. But I must say, we've seen him on 1 or 2 occasions this season already, and he's been in fine form.
Couldn't agree more. Ryan Fisher goes off the inside in blue for the USA. Chris Harris, gate 2 in red for Great Britain. Real talisman for Team GB. Really proud to ride for his nation in the World Cup and really enjoys every single minute of it. Kostigov for Latvia off 3, and Nick Morris going off the outside in the white helmet colour. Here we go, heat number 4, Alan Rossiter, the Team Great Britain manager, watching on. Can Harris make a good start from gate number 2 here? What about Fisher off the inside? Lots of experience in Great Britain now these days. Morris has made a decent start from the outside as well, and it's all very tight going into that first turn. Harris has the lead momentarily, and Harris is kicking forward here. He really is a star for Great Britain. Chris Harris is proud to wear that Great Britain race jacket in the World Cup. Fisher is second, but watch out here for Nick Morris, who comes through, challenging hard on the American and has got second spot now.
Yeah, good ride from Morris to get the better of Ryan Fisher there, comes through into second place. Harris didn't make a great getaway, but the bike dragged him to the first corner, and he's now got himself in front. Morris could present problems, but got to say that Harris is riding the inside, looks pretty impressive. Got to say, once again, the Latvians really are struggling out there this evening, but Chris Harris doing the job that's required for the Great Britain team.
He certainly is, and another man who will have genuine title hopes of the National Championship at Wolverhampton a week tonight, the British final, which is also the gateway to the Cardiff Grand Prix as the wild card. But Chris Harris has the victory, a great ride from him. Chris Harris takes the checkered flag, and the home fans are absolutely delighted with that. He never, ever lets down his nation because he always gives it 100%, and he's great to watch.
I'll tell you what, though, Morris was coming at him really hard in the last lap there, Nigel. Very good speed. Harris delighted with that. Really pleased, really pumped with his opening ride. Gets off to a winning start for him. The checkered flags are being waved with plenty of pride tonight. There's no doubt about it. This is their great opportunity for them to go straight through to the final.
Harris the winner with Nick Morris second. Ryan Fisher was third for America. This is what it means overall now. We have Australia and Great Britain tied on 9. USA are on 5, and Latvia have just a 1. Great ride from Chris Harris, Kelvin.
Absolutely. He doesn't make a great start here. You'll see him. He just missed it. Ryan Fisher makes a super start, but his bike digs in and drives hard to the first corner. Morris on the outside just gets pushed wide. Harris then gets the better of Fisher. Just see there, Morris maybe just a little bit too eager initially, and that's possibly why he doesn't quite get there. Harris does. Stamps his authority immediately on that first corner, getting the better of the American Ryan Fisher on the inside of him. Morris then rides nicely to get into second place. And then I have to say that Morris has got a lot of speed. We've seen plenty of top-notch performances from him. But that man out in front, he'll be chuffed to bits with that. Winning his opening ride, seeing the checkered flag for the first time, delighting the home crowd. Great Britain are going to make a fight of this, that's for sure.
Yep, great effort from Chris Harris then. Has got a testimonial lined up later this year with his British club Coventry Bees. Hugely popular with the Bees. Let's hear from Ty Woffenden.
Przyznam Państwu, że kiedy przyjeżdżałem dzisiaj do słonecznego, ale zimnego Kings Lynn, tutaj na ten stadion, poczułem, że żużel wraca, wielki żużel wraca do swoich korzeni i myślę, że ten człowiek obok mnie, Ty Woffenden, ma dokładnie takie samo wrażenie. Ty, when I've come here this morning, I felt like the big speedway is coming back to the roots, the origins. What's your impression after the first race and after the whole event?
Yeah, you know, we got a few points on the board, so that's good, and you know, it's good for me to be racing back in England. You know, the World Cup.
Miss it?
I don't know if I miss it, but it's good to be back here. You know, the World Cup is one of the biggest events on the calendar, and you know, it's going to be some tough racing.
Mistrzostwa Świata to jedno z największych wydarzeń w kalendarzu żużlowym i dobrze jest być tu z powrotem, mówi Ty Woffenden, i dobrze jest znowu jeździć w Anglii. Cieszy się, że po tej pierwszej serii mają parę punktów, but I heard that it's not your favorite track, is it?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's prepared well for tonight?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, thank you very much. Słyszałem, że dla Taja to nie jest jedno z ulubionych torów, nie jest jeden z ulubionych torów, ale Taj powiedział, że absolutnie tak nie jest. Jeździ mu się dzisiaj bardzo dobrze i liczy, że będzie tak cały czas.
Well, Ty Woffenden does like Kings Lynn.
Always has done.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, obviously the Polish reporter there slightly ill-informed, but I do know that Buster Chapman, the promoter here and owner, there's no question that he thoroughly enjoys his riding here.
Let's head down to the pits now with Steve Brandon.
Ty Woffenden, great start for you and a solid start for the team.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's all we need. Just got to keep collecting points. Robert's going out now, so we're going to go get him revved up, and you know, it's going to be a tough night.
Not too many chances for people to see you ride in Britain this year, but this one of them, you get a great reception from British fans.
Yeah, we do. You know, we always do here. It's a pleasure to race in the World Cup for Great Britain, and you know, you can see that when when we come out and all the fans are cheering for us. But like I said, it's going to be a tough night. We've got a long way to go, and we want to go straight through to the final. So we'll see how it all pans out.
You're parked next to Robert Lambert tonight. A point for him, and I know he'll want to do a lot better, but lots of potential.
For sure, you know, and he knows he can do better. So you know, maybe it was just the first race. It's nice to get the first one out of the way, and you know, he can focus now and get on with his job.
Thanks, Ty.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to hear from Ty, of course. He's rode brilliantly his opening ride. Robert Lambert, quite clearly nervous in Heat 1. He would have been feeling that, and he just missed the start. And at this level, if you do that, unfortunately, you're going to find yourself having to work extremely hard.
And Steve Brandon is down in the pits for Nick Morris.
World Cup debut for Nick Morris. How was that first ride for you, Nick?
Yeah, it was all right. Jumped a little bit at the start, so had to battle through, and had speed though, so yeah, hopefully we'll be better in the next one.
As a young rider making your way, having a great year domestically, do you notice this is a notch up, how the pits are, how it feels before the meeting?
Yeah, it's just cool to be like in it. Yeah, and it's just everything's more professional, and it's just more of an event. It's a lot cooler. So yeah, hopefully we can be in a few more of these.
And chance to be in the pits with your teammates as a team at international level, that must be fun. It always looks fun.
Yeah, for sure. I ride with Batch at Swindon, and all the Aussies always get along good too. So we've been having a fun day, got some food and stuff, and yeah, it's just good to ride with Aussies.
Thanks for your time. Keep enjoying it.
Yeah, Nick Morris has been very impressive indeed this season. I've got to say, he seems to have matured, and he's riding really very well for both of his British clubs. And on the evidence of tonight, looks fast out there.
And that's the latest standings, and certainly with Nick Morris as well. I think it must have been pretty close call, Kelvin, because Dakota North is another Australian who's in great form in the domestic league right now.
Yeah.
You got some younger Australians coming through as well. I think the vacancy, there's no doubt the vacancy has been created by the suspension for Darcy Ward, which
yes.
Darcy's only got, what, another 2.5, 3 weeks before he's available
the
again.
28th of June, he can now, you know, ride again. So
if the World Cup was at its normal time in July, Ward would have been available.
Absolutely. So there's almost certainly he would have been in the side. But we're ready to go racing once again.
In number 5 coming up here then, it's a second outing for Robert Lambert. He's up against the 2012 world champion Chris Holder. Latvia have made a change, we're told.
Yeah, we got Andrei Lebedev.
Andrei Lebedev.
Yeah, coming in as a tactical substitute. Not a joker, I was told, but the Latvians have only scored 1 point from their opening 4 heats. Of course, Saturday night, we've got to say that the Russians failed to score in their first 4 heats, but still managed to make the race off. So all is not lost for the Latvians.
No, we must wish Jarek Ampel all the very best after it transpired that he broke his leg in 2 places at the weekend in Poland in event 1 of the Speedway World Cup. We expect Bruszkowski to come in for Poland on Thursday in Wojens. But great team spirit for Great Britain. They're helping out the youngster here, 17 years of age, and everybody rallying around Robert Lambert.
Yeah, and no surprise there, Nige, because, you know, it's 17. It's a huge moment for him. There's no question that he will be feeling the nerves. The whole team will be. It's such a big occasion for him as a home rider. So Robert Lambert coming up for his second ride. He'll be really keen to get on with it.
So every nation has now had 1 ride. We're up to heat number 5 here in the Kings Lynn Stadium, the Adrian Flux Arena at Norfolk. Chris Holder going off the inside in white here for Australia. Andrzej Lebedev is a tactical substitute off gate 2 in yellow. Gino Manzarek for the USA, rides for the Ipswich Witches in the UK, is off gate 3 in blue. And the youngster Robert Lambert for Great Britain has got 1 World Cup ride under his belt now. I feel a lot happier about that, I'm sure.
Yes.
Lambert has got the outside gate. He knows every inch of this Norfolk Arena circuit here in Kings Lynn as he rides for them in the bridge. Oh, he's touched the tapes. Oh dear. Oh, well, has he touched the tapes?
Well, he certainly, his peak did.
It was peak did, yes.
I'm not sure
but it
if
has
the
to be
front
the
tyre
bike.
did. That must have got awfully close. The referee Piotr Lis from Poland will have to look at the replay to see if he has. We see it now. He jumps, yes.
Oh, dear.
Unfortunately for him, he will be excluded. The front tyre just clips the bottom of the tapes there.
He must be a bag of nerves, Kelvin,
He
isn't he?
is, yeah. There's no doubt about that. And we see the red light come on, and that's a bitter blow for Great Britain. You can ill afford to be throwing points away on such an important night.
Can you remember the early stages of your career? Put yourself in Robert Lambert's shoes now. I mean, you started riding professionally in '83, and within 12 months you were riding international speedway. It must have been daunting, Kelvin.
It is. It's such a huge step up, and suddenly when the race night comes round and the stadium's full, you know, people are talking to you, they're excited for you, and you suddenly begin to feel the pressure. It's no surprise that Robert is feeling the tension out there, and that was a clear indication of it. And, you know, I do feel for him. He's a very young man. He's only just 17. And this is you know, a great amount of responsibility. In some ways, he hasn't been around quite long enough. But such is his form and such is his potential, Alan Rossiter had to pick him.
Rides for Peterborough as well in the Premier League, just up the road from here, the Peterborough Panthers, who have some big meetings coming up. They've got the High Flyers Glasgow later this month as well, but, well, he's just got to put that behind him, try and regain his focus for the rest of the evening, Robert Lambert.
Yeah, it's a shame because you know, he'll want to do every possible lap he can, and this time he's just going to have to sit it out. He'll have to be patient before his third ride. Holder on the inside, of course, making his way up to tapes. We've got Gino Manzarek coming out, who's had an up-and-down season. You mentioned the fact that he had been injured early on in the season. He hasn't quite hit the heights that he would have wanted so far this year for the Ipswich Witches. But who knows, maybe the camaraderie of the Americans will inspire him to a big performance here tonight.
3 riders only here then. No Great Britain rider with Lambert disqualified, so Great Britain stay on 9 points. I know certainly a lot of the top Australian riders who are recently retired are going to be watching this in the early hours of the morning in Australia. Lee Adams, Jason Crump, we send you our best wishes, boys, and hope you're enjoying the speedway. As we look at the lineup, Chris Holder off the inside, gate 2 is Andrzej Lebedev, gate 3 is Gino Manzarek, no rider of 4, Robert Lambert, touch the tapes, 17-year-old, and understandable, you have to cut him some slack in his World Cup debut, of course. Here we go. Heat number 5, second time of asking, and Holder predictably has made a good start there for Australia. And Lebedev, the Latvian, is second place right now. Manzarek is on the pace in blue, but Chris Holder is looking superb here. And dare I say it, he's going to take some stopping going into lap 2.
Well, I would agree with that. He was red-hot favourite on paper with the exclusion of Robert Lambert here, and he's cleared off out in front. Andrzej Lebedev's having another ride here. He's comfortable in second place, with Gino Manzarek not quite managing to get the better of the Latvian as they go into the first corner. I do believe that the Americans are going to have to battle really hard with the Latvians if they want to have another race meeting on Thursday in Voyens at the race-off. But got to say, this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Australians, Nigel, capitalising on the mistake by Great Britain.
Yeah, it was level at 9 points apiece going into this race, but Australia are going to open up a 3-point cushion on Great Britain now with this win for Chris Holder in the white helmet colour. Second in yellow was Lebedev's, and third in blue was Manzarek there. And that opens up a comfortable lead now after 5 heats of this meeting for Australia. And Chris Holder is a maximum man, unbeaten by an opposing rider in 2 races now for Australia. They're on 12 points, looking good for them after a fine ride from Chris Holder, who made it look pretty simple, it has to be said. Holder from Lebedev, from Manzarek, who got a point there for USA. And overall now, after 5 heats, Australia are on 12, Great Britain's 9, USA are on 6, and Latvia are on 3. So USA and Latvia can use a joker. They've already used a tactical sub, the Latvians in Lebedev there, and he got a second spot.
Well, second time of asking, no surprise at all to see the former world champion holder make a smashing start off the inside. Lebedev then comes straight into second place. We're looking at Gino Manzarek just lifting momentarily, but can't quite get to the first corner in front. And then Lebedev's there in second place, yellow helmet colour. He makes the best of it down the back straight. Holder there just a little bit out of shape early on, but got to say he has pretty comfortable ride out in front. Coming out of the last corner, he pulls a really good wheelie and just smashing throttle control and celebrates in style on the back wheel. But Australia are in a strong position at this early stage.
And what a lineup we've got for heat number 6, inside and outside. Inside is the current World Championship leader, Tai Woffenden. We're seeing the 2012 World Champion, Chris Holder, here. But in the next race, we have the current World Championship leader and 2013 World Champion Tai Woffenden for Great Britain. And off the outside gate in blue, we have the reigning World Champion, Greg Hancock. It is quite a lineup here coming up to heat number 6.
Fabulous lineup, and when you put in Nick Morris there in gate 2, when he showed fabulous speed, I know Chris Harris beat him, but he said in the interview that he felt he had a lot of speed. He could be a danger as well. So you're dead right, Nigel. This is a smashing lineup.
Woffenden off the inside in red. Gate 2 in white is Nick Morris for Australia. Cas Podzooks goes off gate 3 in yellow. And Greg Hancock going off the outside in blue. Hancock with a wonderful start in his opening ride. A textbook start to make the lead. And never look back. And Hancock a specialist in the World Cup and piling up the points for the USA.
He is, and he made a smashing start as well from gate 2 in his opening ride, but there's no doubt he didn't quite have as much speed as he would have liked, so a possible tweak to his setup coming out for his second ride. Hancock, of course, is a jet-propelled starter, and Woffenden in the sort of form he has been in recently. This is a great matchup.
Yep, Hancock knows he's going to have to make a super quick gate from gate number 4 here for Team USA. And he's there, he's made a good one. Hancock, can he sweep across? Look at that. Oh, he makes it look so easy. Woffenden almost loses it coming out of turn 2. Morris has come through into third place right now. It's Greg Hancock for the USA with the lead. Woffenden is going to chase hard, and Morris is on the pace as well. Good race developing going into lap 2 here.
Oh, Woffenden just overlocks. He's going to open the door. Morris is going to be there ready to pounce. The Australian Morris comes steaming up, the World Championship leader into second place. Once again, Hancock absolutely fabulous away from the tapes. Really super start from him from the outside, but keep your eyes on Nick Morris. Morris is fast in second place. It's time for him to make pressure and put the world champion under pressure.
Well, Greg Hancock once again absolutely piling up the points. Not it's a one-man team, USA, but they couldn't do it without him. Woffenden is going wide, trying to pressurise Morris. This would be a great result for Australia if Morris can beat Woffenden, the British
Morris
top man. Morris at the inside of Hancock.
Oh! Almost a dead heat on the run to the line. Got to see it again. A fabulous ride by Morris coming out of the last turn. Jumped back to the inside. Got his wheels in line, and I don't know, it's too close to call. So very tight on the run to the line, though. Hancock's just held on, and I mean only just. What a fabulous effort that was from Nick Morris. But Greg Hancock just wins the race with Tai Woffenden tailed off in third. Super lineup, just another indication of how well this young man is doing, Morris. Coming in to replace Darcy Ward, in effect. Got to say that he is doing himself a whole lot of proud this evening.
Yeah, very much so. I know his parents are here as well. They're based in the West Midlands, but Nick Morris's parents are here to watch him on his World Cup debut. And this is a man, Nick Morris, by the way, who's pushed the world champion all the way and actually rides in Premier League Speedway, which is the second division of British Speedway for Glasgow, as well as Swindon in the Elite League. Remarkable. Australia 14, Great Britain 10, USA 9, and Latvia have 3. A terrific result for Hancock and for Nick Morris to get the better of Britain's top man, Kelvin.
Yeah, absolutely. And look how good, once again, Hancock was away from the tapes. A clean pair of heels. Super start from him. Bike really drives nicely to the first corner. Woffenden there just a little bit out of shape early doors. Then Morris comes steaming into third place. Then Woffenden just gets it a little bit wrong back down in the pit corner, runs wide, and Morris there showing super speed once again as he did in his opening ride. Morris then gets his wheels in line and gets the better of the championship leader. But that man there, 45 just a few days ago, showing such super form. No signs of age coming into his riding whatsoever. Unbeaten so far tonight.
Here we go then with heat number 7. Bogdanov is the Latvian here. The Great Britain rider is Danny King, going off the outside gate in red, riding for Coventry in the Elite League and Ipswich, which is in the Premier League as well, every Thursday night, just up the road from here at Vauxhall Stadium. Used to have some great derbies when they were in the same league, Kingsland and Ipswich.
Absolutely.
So Bogdanov going off the inside in yellow. Jason Doyle gate 2 in white for Australia. Really come of age in the last couple of years, Jason Doyle on the world stage. Ryan Fisher gate 3 in blue for USA. And off the outside is Danny King for Great Britain in red.
Yeah, Jason Doyle is a good point, Nige, because he's had all sorts of injuries in his mid-20s. He's now coming to his late 20s, and he really has developed as a rider. Fully fledged Grand Prix rider, riding well for Australia in the World Cup.
Here we go!
Oh! Fisher's in the tapes.
Yeah, nerves again. Nerves once again, Ryan Fisher this time.
Interested to see the replay whether King moved just to pull him in. When you're looking across the front tyre of another rider, if he moves slightly, he does, but unfortunately for Fisher, just a little bit too eager, and he's in the tapes. And that's a blow when you consider Hancock's won the previous race. They could do with every point they can get.
Bit surprised, really, because Ryan Fisher has got a lot of experience, Kelvin, now. He first came over to the UK at the same time as Billy Gennaro when they formed a double act at Coventry.
That's right, yes.
And he's got a lot of experience under his belt now, perhaps a sign of the pressure that the World Cup brings.
Well, you've just taken the words out of my mouth. It is an indication of what the tension's like down there. It's a big night, terrific atmosphere. And unfortunately for Ryan Fisher, just a little bit too eager. The stature of the race, he knows how important it is to make a start. And quite clearly you see him there just being a little bit too eager to get underway. So he'll be dreadfully frustrated, a shrug of the shoulders from the backup team. But Ryan Fisher, he'll be gutted about that.
Yep, so the 2-minute time allowance is on for the restart of this one. Heat number 7.
Danny King
3
here,
riders
Nige.
only.
Yeah, just the 3 of them, and an opportunity for Danny King because he's been in super form for his 2 clubs in the UK, Ipswich and Coventry. Coventry, of course, until very recently on top of the table and riding high, and this man was very much instrumental in their performances. And Danny King called up for the World Cup for the second time. Had a hard World Cup, failed to score in Bydgoszcz, but these are the sort of conditions I know he revels in. So he'll be really keen to get amongst the points once again here.
Coventry with a great shout of the Elite League, which of course is something you achieved a couple of times during the time that you had at Coventry when you absolutely loved riding for them, Kel.
Oh, I tell you what, it was the best time I ever had in British Speedway. Absolutely fabulous. Back-to-back championships we won. It really was a special time for me.
Maxim Bogdanov going off the inside in yellow with Jason Doyle off gate number 2 in white. No rider off 3. Ryan Fisher disqualified for touching the tapes, and Danny King going off the outside in red. A decent golfer as well, Danny King, who, well, so he tells me, says he's decent on the hockey on the dartboard as well.
Don't believe everything you hear, no.
Well, it's just what he tells me. I've not seen it for myself. Anyway, heat number 7. Here we go. Second time of asking, away from the start. Doyle's made a good one. Can King get there? Not quite. Doyle has just beaten him to the first turn. Danny King has gone wide now for Team Great Britain here. And third is Bogdanov, the Latvian, in the yellow helmet colour. But Jason Doyle looking good here in the white helmet colour. A fully fledged Grand Prix rider this year, of course, and looking every bit the part in the World Cup tonight.
Yeah, and it was a couple of years ago when we first saw him burst on the international scene for the World Cup squad. I think it was in Czestochowa, in actual fact, and he rode very well that night and had a good final as well, and has progressed very quickly subsequently. King showing good speed in second place here, but just couldn't quite match the performance from Doyle away from the tapes. Jason there winding it on. King coming at him. He'll have to keep himself really up to the job, Doyle, but looks like the Australians are going to get the better of the Brits once again.
Yeah, Jason Doyle looking good here down the back straight, and the way this meeting is progressing, it could well be very soon we will be looking at tactical territory, because Australia are now 5 up on Great Britain, another 1 point up, and Great Britain will be in tactical territory, and there's still a long way to go in this meeting. You can go for tactical substitutes, you can use a joker once, up to and including heat 16 only, so it's not all over Great Britain. Anything can happen.
Absolutely not. You can turn your fortunes around very quickly if the Joker works out for you, and particularly if the opposition drop points, but they didn't then. Jason Doyle was textbook out in front.
Very much so, and here's how it looks now. Australia have 17, Great Britain 12, USA 9 and Latvia have 4. It's inevitable that USA will go for the Joker and use Greg Hancock as the Joker.
Yes.
And that is their real trump card in the race for the race-off, because if you finish second or third, you're in the race-off, and you do feel that the Joker on Hancock is their route to the race-off.
Yes, could prove to be so. We're seeing the rerun here once again. Danny King not quite managing to get across from the outside, has to straighten up at the last minute, and that causes in some problems as he comes to the first corner. You see there, just a little bit untidy from him. Jason Doyle making a super start and rides a really strong race out in front. Got to say that, as I said before, he's looking every part an international rider these days. Danny King, got to give him credit, he rides well, but that man there, a busy man these days, riding very well indeed.
Yeah, very much so. The man in yellow here with one or two problems. That is Andrzej Lebedev's.
Lebedev's with the equipment just letting him down. He's desperately trying to get it fired up again. He probably could do with somebody giving him a push, but they're struggling to get over the fence. Now he turns around. Yeah, he's got it running. Yeah, be out of breath though. He'll have to take a few deep breaths just to recompose himself as he comes around to the tapes. He's coming out of gate 2, but he's been a busy man so far. He's had an extra ride already.
So here we go then with heat number 8. Second time of asking, going off the inside in white here for the Australian side, Troy Batchelor. It's not the second time of asking. I've been there waiting for quite some time, but it feels like the second time of asking. It's off the inside in the white helmet
Who was
colour.
the one that jumped the start?
Yeah, me. That was me. I touched the tapes there. Troy Batchelor off the inside in white. Andrzej Lebedev off 2. Chris Harris off 3. Max Schrummel off the outside. Here we go. Heat number 8. After this race, every nation will have completed 2 rides in this meeting, and Harris has made a beauty. He really is riding magnificently tonight. Chris Harris in the red helmet colour. Second place in white is Troy Batchelor, and third in yellow is Andrzej Lebedev. But Kelvin, Chris Harris is looking really quick now as Batchelor tries to close the gap and put some pressure on.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's made 2 super starts. He's out in front. Batchelor giving chase. Lebedev in third. And he's giving chase as well. Harris there having a sneaky look over his shoulder. I've got to say, Troy Batchelor is looking very threatening in second place. Harris is going to have to ride a textbook race out in front, eyes in the back of his head, just struggling for a little bit of speed off the corners.
Yeah, Batchelor's looking quicker here now, with Harris holding the inside line. We're into the last lap of heat number 8. Batchelor will give it everything for Australia now in white. Harris, though, holds the line and has just opened up a handy little lead here going into turns 3 and 4. And it looks like 2 rides and 2 wins for the British hero, Chris Bobber Harris, in heat number 8. He's brought the house down.
Brilliant stuff from Harris once again. He was super away from the start, not renowned for his starting ability generally, but tonight he has been sensational away from the tapes, and brilliant ride from him. Came under a lot of pressure midway through the race from Troy Batchelor. I thought for a moment Batchelor was going to be able to get the better of Harris, but Harris then rode a really good line late on in the race and won relatively comfortably in the end. He's really enjoying it. He's really pumped up.
Yeah, very much so. To see the passion of Chris Harris like that, it really is refreshing. That's what it means to wear the Great Britain bib for Chris Harris. 8 races gone now, and here's how the standings are. Australia 19, Great Britain 15, USA 9, and Latvia have 5.
Oh, smashing ride there again from Chris Harris. 2 starts, 2 wins. Came under some pressure. Got to say, Troy Batchelor keeps him very honest, but out of gate 3, Harris gets the better of the opposition to the first corner. Batchelor coming into second place. We're looking at young Max Schrummel once again. Tough for him. Such a big change. Last Saturday night, you've got to remember, they were at Costa Mesa, which is about 180 metres. Here is over 300, a very different proposition indeed. Batchelor coming at Chris Harris really hard. Harris around the inside. As I go into the last lap, there isn't a lot to choose between the two, but then Batchelor runs a little bit too wide, and Harris rides a really good corner around the inside, and in the end wins very comfortably indeed. But got to say, Harris unbeaten so far, looking good.
Yep, and still, anything can happen in the World Cup. We know that, of course. But this man, Chris Harris, talking to Marcel Gerhard there, and quite clearly happy with his setup, Kelvin.
Yeah, he's riding the new GTR from Marcel Gerhard this evening, and so far 2 races, 2 wins, just having a bit of a chat about setup, possibly looking for a little bit more speed, but so far so good for him.
Here we go, back with our Polish colleagues, and this will be in English, the answers from Ryan Fisher of the USA.
Jeden z 2 najbardziej doświadczonych zawodników amerykańskiej drużyny, który zerwał taśmę w 7. biegu, a wydawało się, że to ci młodzi powinni się tak bardzo denerwować. Ryan, there was a problem in the heat 7 for you. Too nervous? I thought the youngsters are going to be nervous tonight.
Yeah, I guess I was faster than the tapes. I just was ready to go and made the mistake.
Byłem szybszy niż taśma, byłem gotowy, żeby wystartować, popełniłem błąd i stąd ta zerwana taśma i to wykluczenie. Drugie pytanie, nie idzie Amerykanom tak dobrze jak rok temu. Pytanie, czy można to jeszcze w jakiś sposób odwrócić. It doesn't go that good as last year, for example, for the American team. Do you have an idea what to change to make it better?
For myself, just go win races. You know, I think obviously we got to get as many points as possible, and me hitting the tapes doesn't help. But I won't do that again, and hopefully I get some more points, hopefully some wins.
Już nigdy nie zerwę dzisiaj taśmy, tak powiedział Ryan Fisher. Mam nadzieję na więcej punktów w tych dzisiejszych zawodach. O to chodzi, żeby zbierać jeszcze więcej punktów w tym spotkaniu. Nie jest wiele do poprawy, bo czują mocną szybkość, no ale czegoś cały czas brakuje. Thank you, Ryan.
Dziękuję.
Well, it does appear as though we are getting word about the next heat, where it could well be that Max Rummel in blue, and we are waiting confirmation of this, that Hancock could be in the next. Greg Hancock could be in the next. In blue instead of Max Rummel.
You've got Lambert up against him, who's struggled so far this evening. Nick Morris, who has not, and Bogdanovs.
Chris Holder is with Steve Brandon.
Chris Holder, 2 rides, 6 points, going really well.
Yeah, it's been not a bad start for us. Team's going good. We've got a few points on the board, so not sure how close it is, but I know it won't be too much in it. But we just got to make the most of the next couple of races and put ourselves in a position to finish it off.
When you knock 17 points in a league match around a place and come a week later in the World Cup, does that help how you're thinking when you get here?
Yeah, I got lucky there coming here a week or so before, but no, it's going okay. So not really complaining. The bike stuff's going good. It's just everything else is not the best, but. Hopefully we can just do what we've been doing so far and make no mistakes and get some points.
You just had a quick team meeting in the break. What was said?
Good start, we don't usually start that great, but we started really good, so let's keep what we're doing right now and talk to each other and help each other out and all the secret lines on the track.
All right, I'll let you keep the secrets. Thanks for your time.
Interesting there from Chris Holder. The Australians have started very well. They've had no worse than a second place so far. Very consistent from them indeed. And you've got to say that Chris Holder's still not quite clearly settled, but riding nicely so far.
Well, I think there may be some news from the USA camp. Billy Hamill, the team manager, is with Steve.
Billy Hamill, time for a change. What's happening?
We just put Greg Hancock in as a tactical joker. Pretty early, but we don't want to risk it.
So a 45-year-old team manager puts a 45-year-old rider in a race. That's quite cool.
It's pretty unprecedented, isn't it? But there's only one Greg Hancock, so hopefully the rest of the boys can rally up some support for him, and we can get the job done.
You've done everything you can do in Speedway, world champion, multiple national champion. How much do you have to get these young guys up for it tonight for the other 3?
Well, out of everything I've done, I would say one of the coolest things is winning a gold medal with your bros, with your teammates. So I regard this as very highly.
Okay, it's a big chance now for America. I'll let you go and watch Greg. Thanks.
So, Billy Hamill passionate about what he does, and interesting that he's gone so early.
Well, yeah, clearly doesn't want to be left high and dry later on. But the top man, of course, Hancock coming out here is unbeaten so far. We're looking at 9 points for Australia, 15 for Great Britain, 19 for Australia. So Robert Lambert coming out here, gate 2. He'll be disappointed to see the world champion on the inside of him, that's for sure. Puts that little bit of extra pressure on him, but he'll have to remain a little bit more composed. And Nick Morris, keep your eyes on him, because Morris was dynamite last time out.
Yeah, looking very quick, Nick Morris, for sure. And going off the outside in yellow is Maxim Bogdanov, the Latvian skipper, #1. Found it tough tonight, but anyway, here we go. Heat number 9, and the riders are at the tapes, and we'll get on with the action shortly. Here we go then, a roll of the dice for Billy Hamill, the USA team manager, with Greg Hancock going off the inside in blue. Any points he scores will count for double here. He is in as a replacement for Max Rummel as a tactical substitute, but they're using the Joker at the same time. Going off gate number 2 in red is Robert Lambert. Touched the tapes last time. He'll be a bag of nerves, no doubt. Going off gate 3 is Nick Morris in white, and off the outside in yellow, Maxim Bogdanov. A huge race for the USA here, Kelvin.
Yeah, massive. It could be crunch time for them. They've gone with a tactical Joker very early. Hancock has won 2 races so far. Morris hasn't. Lambert got excluded last time. They're awfully close between gates 1 and 2. Could be a bit of elbow action going on there. But Hancock on the inside, can he put it off?
Hancock 45, Lambert 17. That's the age difference, and the old master has taught the pupil a lesson as Lambert now just holds on for second spot, and the Australian Nick Morris is at the back now. Now Morris is going to charge hard and come around the outside of the Latvian into 3rd place, but here we see Robert Lambert charging hard up the inside of the world champion Greg Hancock, super speedway, and Robert Lambert down the back straight has just passed the world champion Greg Hancock. Unbelievable stuff here at Kings Lynn tonight.
Fabulous move there from Robert Lambert. Comes out of gate 2. Didn't quite get to the first corner. Hancock made it his. Now Morris comes through into 2nd place. Lambert doing the business out in front. Got excluded last time. Needs to keep himself composed. Super ride from the youngster.
And Morris has come through into 2nd as well. We are told that this is a Marcel Gerhard engine that Robert Lambert is using. Same as Chris Harris, who's unbeaten. And Robert Lambert is under huge pressure. Get to the line!
Morris steals the win on the run to the line. Unbelievable last corner. 1 or 2 small mistakes from Lambert just killed his speed. Morris has been fast all night. Race of the night. And Nick Morris, what a performance from him. Just getting the better of Robert Lambert as they come up the corner. Oh, climbing all over each other. Just lucky to stay on the motorbike.
Well, if he had come off it, Kelvin, who would have been excluded?
Well, that would have been a tough call for the Piotr Lis, the referee. I would think possibly Nick Morris. But there's just a little bit of room there. Yeah, you've got to say that Robert Lambert gets himself in all sorts of trouble. Fortunately, he stays on and scores 2 points. But Nick Morris, who had 2 strong rides prior to that, not good off the tapes, but by crikey, has he got some speed.
What a race that was. Greg Hancock made the start and was looking good, and it is Morris of Australia who has just got the better of his Great Britain counterpart on that occasion and moves them on to 22 points. Robert Lambert has to settle for 2nd place after passing the world champion here at Kings Lynn. USA 11 and Latvia have 5, and a great ride from Nick Morris. But what about Robert Lambert? This is a kid who hasn't even made a wild card spot for the British final,
which just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He can ride for his country in the World Cup, but he's not in the British final next week. Don't understand that one, but he rode supremely well, and it was a real tussle and a fabulous move by Morris coming out of the last corner. And Australia, what a result for them. They stretched their lead. They really are in dominant mood and very nearly into Joker territory for the Great Britain side. We're up at tapes once again, Nigel. Ty Woofenden, who was slightly disappointing last time, up against the unbeaten Chris Holder.
Well, what a night here at Kings Lynn. It never disappoints. I think this meeting is one of the highlights of the Speedway calendar, to be honest, the way it is.
Great track.
Yeah, very much so. And the riders love it as well. Anze Lebedev, former Kings Lynn man, off the inside in yellow. Ryan Fisher, gate 2 in blue for the USA. Chris Holder, gate 3 in white for Australia. Ty Woofenden outside in red. We have 2 world champions going off the outside 2 gates. 2012 Chris Holder, 2013 Woofenden, and Woofenden, the current world championship leader Mark Lemon, the Australian team manager, watching on there down in the pits area. Still a long way to go tonight.
There is a long way to go, but the Australians, as Chris Holder said, have started sharply this evening. They've been very consistent indeed, and they are dominating proceedings so far. Can Woofenden change that now?
Here we go. Heat number 10, the halfway stage of tonight's action. Fisher's made a good one off two that time, and Holder has gone wide. Woofenden isn't quite there this time. Holder now breezes around the outside, and Woofenden's at the back. Can you believe it? Ryan Fisher has the lead here. Holder swoops around the outside. Woofenden now has come around the outside of the Latvian, and it's all very tight going into lap 2. Ryan Fisher who touched the tapes last time, and Woofenden up the inside of Holder. What a battle for second and third here. Wheel to wheel!
Brilliant speedway for second and third. Gotta say, Ryan Fisher bouncing back brilliantly. Woofenden pour away from the outside, through into second place. Now he's looking to go to the front. Woofenden's come from nowhere. He now finds himself to the front. What a ride from Ty Woofenden.
Woofenden has gone from last to first in a sensational speedway race. Heat number 10 going into the last lap. Woofenden for Great Britain, and if it stays like this, they'll close the gap to 2. But Holder has got an opportunity on Fisher now. Holder is going to be desperate to pass Ryan Fisher for second place, but Fisher holds the line, and Fisher has relegated Holder to third spot. What a race that was! Woofenden last to first.
What a ride it was. Looked like he was out of sorts coming off the first corner out the back. He didn't panic, showed tremendous composure, picked off the opposition one by one. He got the better of Holder, straight up the inside of Ryan Fisher. What a quality ride that was from Ty Woofenden. Delights the home crowd, giving them something to shout about.
Great ride from Fisher as well for USA. And it closes the gap to 3 points now. Forget about the tactical or the joker. It's only 3 points between Britain and Australia. And here we see Woofenden, Fisher, Holder and Lebedev at the back. And that does USA a huge favour, because with Hancock being relegated to third on the joker, it means that the USA are now still 8 clear of Latvia. And the third place team tonight qualify for the race-off.
Well, they're quite comfortable for the race-off for Thursday night, of course, but what a ride from Ty Woofenden. Didn't look like he was going to really land a blow here. Got to say, he comes from the outside. Ryan Fisher, after the disappointment of getting excluded last time, makes a really good start from gate 2. Got to say that Holder then gets the better of Lebedevs, who's relegated to third place. But here we are now. Woofenden begins to turn it on the style, up into third place at the end of the first lap. We're seeing it again. Into third place, Holder in second, ducks to the inside, gets the better of Holder going into the bottom corner, second time of asking. Fisher out in front. Fisher can't believe what's going to happen to him now. Woofenden riding that inside line, the bike pulling his arms off through that first and second corner, second time around. Textbook ride, top quality ride, world-class ride from a former world champion.
To coroner Kelvin Tatum phrase, that was proper speedway.
Indeed.
As we build up to heat number 11. Hancock is back out here for Team USA, but what a ride from Ty Woofenden. This meeting has come alive, certainly, in the last couple of heats with some spectacular stuff from these guys.
Indeed it has. The betting said that it was going to be tight between Australia and Team GB, so it's proving.
Hancock off the inside for the USA in blue. Troy Batchelor gate 2 in white for Australia. Danny King for Great Britain off gate 3 in white. In red even, off gate 3. And Kostigov goes off the outside. He's in a yellow helmet, and Latvia struggling tonight.
Ordinarily he would be in white, wouldn't he, in the league match? Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, but not this evening
Creature
in the World
of habit,
Cup.
me, Kel.
Yeah, you are indeed. Yeah, you're going to make a jump start this time. Sit still, be patient. Danny King, can he do the business now? He's just seen the #1 man in the world this year ride a storm. Hancock's going to be a danger. Batchelor looking like he was fast last time out. He'll be looking for points as well.
Yeah, good lineup again here. Heat number 11. 3 points separate Australia and Team Great Britain, and Hancock off the inside gate. Magnificent. Now, what can Danny King do? He's going to go high and wide around the outside, but Hancock has got the line that time. No problem. Hancock holds the lead with Danny King second. Batchelor is third. If it stays like this, Great Britain will narrow the gap to Australia to just 2 points, and a great result for Australia, for USA if it stays like this. But King right up the exhaust pipe of Greg Hancock.
Very nearly rang in the back of Greg Hancock there as they started the second lap in the bottom corner. Greg Hancock's making starts, but he hasn't got a tremendous amount of speed on track. Riding a clever line. Batchelor in third place, plugging away around the outside. Just a little bit of breathing space now for Danny King. Will have to keep eyes in the back of his head. Once again, the world champion so sharp away from the tapes, dominating out in front.
Yeah, Batchelor hasn't given up in third for Australia, but Greg Hancock has opened up a comfortable advantage this time for the USA. This is going to put them onto 16 points. One last swoop from Batchelor down to the line. King has done enough for Team Great Britain, and they narrow the advantage for Australia to just 2 points now. Australia 24, Great Britain 22. USA now are 11 clear of Latvia, so looking good for Hancock and his colleagues that they can make the race off tonight in Voyens, which, by the way, is on Thursday. And just for our viewers in the UK, for your information, Thursday the race-off and Saturday the final in Voyens, Denmark, is live in the UK on Quest. So it's Quest on Thursday and Saturday for the World Cup race-off. Join us on Quest in the UK. Hancock, King, Batchelor is the finishing order there, and after 11 heats here at the Norfolk Arena, Australia lead Great Britain by just a 2-point margin. USA have 16 and Latvia have 5. Some good stuff here now, Kel.
There is. It really has livened up. The race by Woofenden being the highlight so far, but Hancock, after the disappointment of his previous ride, has bounced back with a super ride here off the inside. He's made starts all night long so far. And he gets the super start from the inside. He stamps his authority on the first corner. Danny King on the outside. Troy Batchelor having a good go in third place. Got to say, he tries all he can once again. Hancock to the first corner. Superstar from Greg Hancock. So smooth, so a classic riding style out in front. Hasn't been super quick tonight, but it's been so very consistent away from the tapes and very much amongst the points. And the Americans looking like they should be racing once again this week on Thursday.
Yep, live on Quest in the UK, remember, and it's looking good for Danny King tonight. He's not won a race, but he's got 3 straight second places, 6 points from 3 rides. I would say it's job done for Danny King for Great Britain.
Very consistent. He'll be desperate to try and win a race this evening, but he's not letting the side down at all, giving chase in second place on all 3 outings. All credit to him, he's doing a good job.
Here we go, heat number 12. Then after this race, every nation will have completed 3 rides. Kaspar Zux off the inside for Latvia. Gino Manzera's gate 2 in blue for the USA. Jason Doyle has been very impressive. He's off gate 3 in white for Australia. And the unbeaten Chris Harris going off the outside in red.
Yeah, Harris has been super. It's unusual to see him making starts. He's got a new engine in this evening, and he's been making great starts and clearly enjoying it. Maybe just looking for a tad more speed when he's out there, but getting to the first corner in front certainly makes your life an awful lot easier. Danger man for me is Doyle. Doyle's in good form. He's out of gate 3.
Yep, here we go then. Heat number 12. Who's going to emerge into that first turn? Doyle has made a beauty. He's beaten Chris Harris to that first turn, but then he's lost control of the bike, but not as much as the Latvian, who's lost control completely. Kaspar Zux there. Thankfully, he's got it back under control, but now Harris is really going to put the squeeze on Jason Doyle here going into lap 2.
Yeah, indeed. Just didn't quite get there, but Harris is really giving chase. It's a real good tussle for first and second. Doyle around the inside. Harris now chopping back to the inside. Wheels in line. Really good action out in front. Gino Manzera's in third. Harris now switching to the outside, giving it everything he can. Doyle responds. What a speedway race once again.
Yeah, great speedway, and now Harris has switched up the inside. Will he take Doyle wide? He's left enough room. He's just left enough room for Jason Doyle.
Oh! How on earth has he stayed on?
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, very nearly runs in the back of Doyle.
That was going to end in tears, but thankfully the boys are okay. They've got over the finish line. Jason Doyle with the checkered flag for Australia.
Wow.
Oh dear, that was a worrying moment for Chris Harris just for a moment or two. And well done to both those boys. They put on a great show in heat number 12.
What a speedway race once again. Kings Lynn, the Adrian Flux Arena, really entertaining us this evening. Jason Doyle good out in front. What an effort from Harris. Very nearly overdid it in second place, hanging on by the skin of his teeth.
Do you think Harris was trying hard there?
I think it may be, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
12 heats gone. Australia 27, Great Britain 24, USA 17, and Latvia have 5.
Yeah, Doyle just dropped the 1 point in his opening ride. He's had a second and 2 wins. The Australians are really being very consistent indeed. He makes the start out of gate 3. Harris not quite managing to get there. He chops to the inside. Oh my goodness, all out of shape. in the first corner there. Podzug's really getting far too much grip. Watch this again. Yeah, Doyle actually gets a little bit of extra grip as well, but he manages to save it. We're seeing it again as they go around the first corner. Podzug's now on the back wheel. Oh, how he misses the back of Harris, a minor miracle. We're seeing it again. But what a race it was from Chris Harris and Jason Doyle. Super action out in front. Harris trying every move he possibly can. How on earth he managed to miss the back of Jason Doyle there late on and hang on to second place was really quite remarkable. Just a little bit too much grip on the way in. Very much may well have clipped the back of Jason Doyle. Super speedway race once again.
Very much so. Terrific ride from Jason Doyle, but well, the incident there where he almost collected the back wheel was just astonishing, and thankfully all the boys are okay. Once again, our Polish colleagues with Robert Lambert now. Let's hear what Robert Lambert has to say.
Robert, you shocked us, you surprised us in the hit number 9, but I've seen you with Nick Morris just a while ago, just joking about this thing. There was no foul?
Yeah, there's a little bit, you know, he really hit me hard, and yeah, you know, that sort of bent the part on my bike, and I was just joking to him about that, you know, but yeah, you know, what can I do, you know, he passed me, so.
No problem about it.
Can't do nothing about it, you know, he passed me, and I just need to move on to the next race now and see what I can do.
Był tam mały faul Nika, ale żartowaliśmy sobie na ten temat, więc tak naprawdę nie ma problemu. Oczywiście mnie uderzył, to mi przeszkodziło, ale absolutnie to żaden kłopot. Jedziemy dalej i mam nadzieję, że w następnym biegu będzie jeszcze lepiej. You said that you are going to look for the contract in Poland for the next year. Can we keep this word?
Yeah, you know, definitely next year I'm looking for a contract, you know, maybe. No,
so soon?
Yeah, you know, you know, I feel good, and Hammer Racing has been going this year, and so you know, I think that's sort of the next step for me, and you know, I think that, you know, with a lot of hard work in the winter, then I can make something of it.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much. Tak, czeka na kontrakt w Polsce, także panowie menadżerowie, to jest zawodnik, który może u nas jechać. Mówi, że to jest następny krok dla niego, właśnie starty w Polsce. Chce iść krok po kroku do przodu, no i właśnie chciałby już niedługo startować w Polsce. Thank you very much.
Charging hard, it's World Championship Speedway, it's tough, a racing incident, no malice in it, and I'm sure he just feels a little bit frustrated that he wasn't able to hang on to the lead, having ridden such a strong race. It's been a smashing night of Speedway, really has been very entertaining indeed. We've seen some great racing, and all credit to the track. It has been a real star so far.
Well, let's head down to the pits now, and here's Steve Brandon.
Mark Lemon, 8 races to go, 3 points in it. It's going to be a tough night at the end.
Yeah, well, we expected a fight, you know, from the Brits, you know, on home soil. So, yeah, it's going to plan. We've got off to a reasonable start. We've just got to keep, you know, the boys motivated and keep them ticking away. But, you know, obviously we had a little bit of fortune with Robert Lambert touching the tape. So, you know, that probably gave us that little edge to just to get that breather in front. But it's a long way from being won.
3 guys sort of looking after themselves. Troy Batchelor, maybe need to give him a G up.
Yeah, no, Troy's doing okay. He's obviously spun up there off gate 2, which was the best gate, but he's made some adjustments out there, and you know, it's fine. Camp's happy.
And Nick Morris doing a great job.
Yeah, splendid. You know, he's come in like a senior campaigner. You know, he's handled the situation really cool, and you know, he's battling hard. You know, if he gets some fresh air, you know, he'll be pretty quick out there. So yeah, worthy of his place.
Thanks for your time. Back to work.
No worries, man.
No, riding nicely the Australian teams this evening, and I've got to say Mark Lemon is growing into this role as Australian team manager. Good stuff from them, but it's going to be tight. You know, if you hadn't have had that tapes exclusion from the Great Britain team, it could have been an awful lot closer, but it's entertaining and there's plenty of racing to come.
Yeah, and we are told that Heat 14, Latvia are looking at a joker ride as well, but they're really going to have to win it to take 6 points to really make it count. I wonder what the Great Britain manager's feeling right now. He's with Steve Brandon.
Alan Ross, the same question to Mark Lemon, but slightly different score. 8 races to go, 3 points behind. What are you guys talking about in this break?
Oh, we're just carrying on what we're doing. We're battling in there with that little mishap with Robert, but that's just racing, you know. But we're back in it now, so everything to go for.
Do you think nerves might have got the better of them just a little bit?
Maybe a tad, but just one of them things has happened. It's history now. We move on and we chase the Australians down.
And for the rest of the team, obviously Ty looking after himself, Chris doing a great job, Danny King putting in some good rides.
Yeah, Danny's been quite quick tonight. He's been nibbling at Greg Hancock's back wheel and a few of the others, with Jason Doyle in the other one, because he's been very quick tonight. So yeah, we're doing well, and I just think it's a long way to go yet.
And the crowd can all hear us now. They're doing a great job for Britain as well.
Yeah, the fans are always brilliant up here, and especially after last year, we got a lot to live up to.
Right, thanks, Alan.
Cheers.
Well, he has. They won brilliantly last year. Of course, Australia had a tough night in actual fact, but Great Britain team did take full advantage of it. They're going to have to dig deep this evening. No mistakes in the next 4 heats. Just 8 races to go before the outcome of tonight's event. It's so vital these days to go straight through to the final with only one team qualifying through from the race-off on Thursday.
Yep, here we see the total so far then. Australia 27, Great Britain 24, USA 17 and Latvia 5. The winners tonight go straight through to the World Cup final, and the second and third place team go to the race-off. And by the way, Poland are in the race-off, and my goodness, that just makes it even harder, the race-off, than ever before.
Indeed it does. That gives it added spice. A lot of people will fancy the Poles for Thursday night, but Voyens is a fair racetrack. It's not a classic continental track. It's, as Ty Woofenden said earlier this evening, it's more along the lines of a British track. So even if we don't manage to win tonight, I still think that we could have a chance of qualifying. The Poles aren't quite as strong as they might have been. They got 1 or 2 riders that are out of form, and with the injury to Jarek Hampel, of course, that is a massive blow. But 3 points between the top 2. Plenty of racing to go. Pressure really building here, and the emphasis on getting away and keeping in the points now is going to be vital.
Yeah, and we're getting information that the Latvians will look at a tactical joker in Heat 14. That is the information we're getting. So, but it does almost seem like as long as Greg Hancock wins his last 2 rides, that's all they need to do, really, isn't it?
I think it's highly unlikely that Latvia will really get into the race-off at all. These type of conditions, unfortunately, for them are very alien to them. The heavy grip, more technically demanding track. There's no doubt that they find it difficult. If this had been on the continent, I would fancy them for the race-off. But here in Britain, in really demanding conditions, technically demanding conditions, they're finding it tough.
8 heats to go then here at the Adrian Flux Arena. We move on to Denmark on Thursday for the race-off. Kyle Howarth there in the Great Britain pits. He was part of the squad process for Alan Rossiter.
He practiced earlier today and looked pretty good. He's growing in stature. Another rider that's, no question, is beginning to knock on the door of international speedway. Did an under-21 meeting in the Czech Republic recently and thoroughly enjoyed it. Spoke to him earlier and said that he really learned a lot on that trip.
Chris Harris now is with Steve Brandon.
Chris Harris, inspirational as ever with a Union Jack on your front.
Yes, I've said before, it means a lot to wear this Union Jack and wear it with pride.
I just spoke to Alan Rossiter about the team and how everything's going. You've just had a team meeting. What have you been talking about?
Yeah, no, we just keep saying, digging in there. No, we're only 3 down and we've all got plenty of speed, and we just had a bit of unluck, but obviously with Robert touching the tapes and that. But he went out and beat Greg in his last one, and get Danny out that start. We're here winter races, so we're there or thereabouts.
And for you, plenty of speed. There's a new engine underneath you. That looks very impressive.
Yeah, obviously it's from Marcel Gerard. It's going good. It's helped me out to start, and it's good on the track, so I'm really pleased with it.
Long way to go tonight, but can you get the Australians pegging back?
Oh, we will. By the end of the night, we'll be on the top.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Cheers.
Well, plenty of confidence shown there by Chris Harris, making starts, plenty of speed. All goods in the world for Mr. Harris this evening. 3 points down, still some tough work to do.
They're still underdogs, aren't they? Let's be realistic about it.
Yeah, I do so. Australia were slight favourites coming into tonight, but all credit to them. If they hadn't have had an exclusion, it could have been a point or 2 a bit closer, but it isn't. And these 4 heats, I think, really could be the difference between, or could decide the outcome of this meeting. Doyle there just preparing himself. What a rider he is now.
Certainly is, and Greg Hancock with Billy. What a double act they were, Hancock and Hamill.
Well, I remember riding against them at Cradley Heath. I tell you what, they were a real tough customers. They were youngsters there, hard charger, particularly Billy Hamill. What a hard charger he was. He took no prisoners when he was out there. In actual fact, Greg Hancock was highly predicted to be the first American world champion after Bruce Pennell, but it was not the case. Billy Hamill, in actual fact, won the world championship before Greg did, but both of them have had brilliant careers.
So heat number 13 coming up. That's how it stands here with 8 races to go at Kings Lynn. Will it go down to the wire? Great Britain really still the underdogs, it has to be said. USA have used their joker. Great Britain haven't had the opportunity because they haven't been far enough behind so far, which is a measure of the way the meeting has gone. Hancock and Hamill, legendary duo. No doubt about that as we build up to heat 13. A weak link here for the USA, with all due respect. Max Rummel in blue has found it really hard, as you would expect. He's still a young man.
Yeah.
They've also brought over another youngster, Brock Nicol, the son of Doug Nicol, who had a practice today, Kel.
He did have a practice, and I must say he looked pretty impressive. And I've got to say that I'm sure he won't be too far away of making the team. It'll be interesting to see if he makes the team on Thursday. But Max Rummel has found it really quite tough tonight, but this is very different conditions he gets in Costa Mesa.
8 races to go to decide the winners straight through to the final, and second and third for the race-off. It's Kostigov off the inside for Latvia in yellow. Max Rummel, gate 2 in blue, finding it tough, the American youngster. Ty Woffenden of Great Britain goes off gate 3 in red, and Jason Doyle of Australia off the outside in white. Only 3 points separate the top 2. Great Britain in the red helmet are behind the Australians in white, who will fancy their chances of just seeing the job through here. Oliver Allen, who is sadly out injured right now, talking there to Chris Harris, and good to see Oliver Allen in the pits supporting Great Britain tonight as well.
Absolutely, but what an important race this is for Ty Woffenden. Sensational last time out, coming from last to first. He really does need to get the better of Jason Doyle.
Yep, here we go, heat number 13. Woffenden has made a sweet start from gate number 3. No mistake at all that time from Ty Woffenden. Doyle has got speed in second, holding second spot. Max Rummel holding third for the USA. This will do them nicely. This will just be another step towards the race-off. Latvia have been disappointing tonight, I feel. They just haven't been the side that we've seen before in the World Cup for the Latvians, but Woffenden looking comfortable now.
Yeah, good away from the tapes, Woffenden, and pretty comfortable out in front. Doyle's coming at him, though. They won't be able to relax. Max Rummel, who has had a hard night, he's pretty comfortable in third place there. Kostikov just running a bit wide. That gives him a little bit more breathing space, but Woffenden out in front. But Jason Doyle is trying really hard in second place. This is the battle for the win on the night.
Yep, stays like this. It will be a 2-point margin between Australia and Great Britain with 7 heats to go. And my goodness, it's going to come down to a battle of tactics with the nominated heats. The last 4 races tonight, down to the team managers. Where do they put their riders? What particular order? It is going to come down to that, the way it's shaping up. Woffenden, brilliant again that time, gets the better of Jason Doyle. Has to be said, Woffenden did all the hard work there from the gate in heat number 13 and picks up his 3rd win in 4 outings.
Yeah, he's in fine form, and it's super to see him. Bit of arm swag there from Ty Woffenden, really enjoying his night, delighting the home crowd, and they're delighted to see him. We don't see too much of him these days with him riding on the continent. Good out in front, good ride from Doyle in second place. Got to say that Doyle showed good speed in second place, but no match for that man out in front. Woffenden, a clear win in heat 13.
So here we go with the result. Ty Woffenden the winner, with Jason Doyle second. Max Rummel was third. Kostigov was at the back there for Latvia, so it's a good result for the USA there as well. Australia 29, Great Britain 27. It's a straight shootout for the winners of tonight's group, who go straight through to the World Cup final. Great Britain second, USA third. Second and third go through to the race-off, which already includes Poland on Thursday after they lost Jarek Hampel at the weekend. Poland in the race-off. A lot of pressure on here.
Yeah, there is, and Ty Woffenden deals with the pressure brilliantly. He makes a fabulous start. Doyle into second place, young Max Rummel into third. Just doesn't quite match the experience of the 2 Grand Prix stars away from the tapes. Round that first corner, Woffenden rides very nicely. Out in front, got to say that Jason Doyle keeps him honest out in front. But no surprise to see that man winning races tonight. Thoroughly enjoying his appearance here, giving his nation another chance of trying to win on the night. It's awfully close. This is going to be a real thriller. You just sense it could go right down to heat 20.
Podzuks is the joker ride here for Latvia, the man in the yellow helmet colour. He's going for double points, maybe too little too late, of course. but that's off gate number 2 for Latvia tonight. Robert Lambert is the British rider here, off the inside gate. Scored a maximum when we were here earlier in the season, Kelvin, watching him in action against Lakeside. And
yeah, fabulous
was
night.
Brilliant that night. And here he goes off the inside gate in red then. Robert Lambert for Great Britain. Kaspar Zooks, the joker ride for Latvia off 2. Troy Batchelor, gate 3 in white for Australia. And Ryan Fisher for USA off the outside gate.
Yeah, Fisher had a better ride last time after hitting the tapes. He responded very well. He led the race for a little while and then got past, but I've got to say he did make the opposition work hard. Batchelor there, of course, he'll be well aware that the young charger, the 17-year-old on the inside, will be the main opposition, potentially. Batchelor and Lambert going down to crunch time. They've got to come up with a big ride now.
Yep, a massive heat 14 coming up then here, and Batchelor has made a good start. He's got the drop on Lambert here. This could be a crucial ride, and now coming around the outside for America is Fisher in the blue helmet colour, having a real go here, but Lambert holds the line, and he has to, because Troy Batchelor has made a great start. Second place Lambert, third is Fisher, and this would restore Australia's lead to 3 with 6 to go.
It would indeed. Batchelor there just a little bit more clinical away from the tapes, possibly a little bit more composure. Lambert a little bit scruffy. Also in the first corner, gets the better of Ryan Fisher down the back straight. Batchelor riding nicely out in front, exactly what the Australians need. Bouncing back after Woofenden won the previous race. It really is a ding-dong battle between Australia and Great Britain. Fisher in third, but Batchelor out in front, doing the business for the Australians.
Just feel that Australia have just got that little bit more in hand. It's going to be a 3-point cushion. Batchelor is going to win the race comfortably here. 6 races to go. Is time going to run out for Great Britain? And the Latvian joker hasn't worked, because it's Kaspar Zooks has finished at the back, but huge credit there to Troy Batchelor for Team Australia. He rides for the Swindon Robins in the British Elite League, is a Grand Prix regular and a former Kings Lynn rider, and what a start. All the hard work from the start on that occasion with the youngster Robert Lambert just to his left. Batchelor the winner, Robert Lambert was second, Fisher was third, Podzooks at the back, and it means now that Australia have a 3-point cushion with 6 races to go, and that will do them quite nicely.
It will indeed. Got to say that Troy Batchelor, who has had a difficult season so far, rode really well there. Had a lot of composure coming off gate 3. Super run to the first corner. We see it here. Robert Lambert just lifting a little bit scruffy from him, but Troy Batchelor, clean pair of heels away from the tapes. Lambert just overlocking in the first corner and just kills his speed. Just recovers in time, in actual fact, to get better of Ryan Fisher as they go down the back straight. But Batchelor's got a little bit in hand in this one. He stretches the lead out in front, wins relatively comfortably, moves that lead back out to 3 points, giving the Aussie team just a little bit of breathing room. Racing to come though, still tension in the air, Super Speedway.
3 points of difference with 6 heats to go in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup event number 2 here at Kings Lynn tonight. Can Great Britain pull something special out of the bag in the final 6 heats? And Kelvin, it is going to be a key. The last 4 heats are a blank programme at the moment. It's down to the team managers to decide where they are going to nominate their riders.
We quite often see that team managers front load the first few races just to try and get the points in the bag. Very interesting to see how Alan Rossiter and Mark Lemon line their teams up. Really can't wait for that. Danny King out here in gate 2 has been riding well this evening without winning a race, but Nick Morris, he has been flying.
Yeah, Nick Morris off the inside, then Danny King off 2, gate 3 in yellow here is Lebedevs for Latvia. Going off the outside is Gino Manzarres for the USA. Ipswich Witches rider Mark Lemon, the team manager of Australia, looks nervous, looks tense, he's watching on there.
Rightly so.
Still knows he's got a bit to do to see his side over the line.
Yes.
Heat number 15 it is now here in Kings Lynn. 3 points of difference between Great Britain and Australia. And King has made a beauty off gate 2. Superstar from Danny King. Now Nick Morris holds the inside line and holds second place. So if it stays like this, the gap will be 2 with 5 to go. King holds the line. Morris is second, Manzarres third. But don't rule out Morris yet. He'll give it everything here.
He will indeed, but what a start there from Danny King. He's gone very well.
There it goes!
Morris now slams the door shot from King. Really tight going into turn 3. Morris coming off a turn 4, elbow to elbow, brilliant response from Danny King, just about getting himself back in front. Super Speedway once again, neck and neck.
Yeah, great stuff here, and King has gone wide. Morris locks up on the inside and has gone wide. King holds the line, going into the last lap. This is a great speedway race. King holds the line now down the back straight. Looks as though he may have seen off the challenge of Nick Morris. Holds the inside line. Danny King. Now Morris tries to pounce, but King has done enough. And he has got his first win of the night. And the Norfolk Arena erupts with the Union Jack flags in the main stand here at Kings Lynn. This meeting is still alive with how many races have we got to go? Five. Just have to check there.
Yeah.
Excitement got the better of me for a minute.
Well, no wonder. One more than 4 is 5, and what a
Thank you for
ride.
that.
That's all right. And Danny King, what a ride from him. Neck and neck for so long. Got to say, Nick Morris played his part. Super ride from him, but King sharp away from the tapes and then showed great guts and determination to hang on to the lead when a lot of riders probably would have allowed Nick Morris to come through. Brilliant speedway once again.
Very much so, and now USA need a point to qualify for the race-off. That's one interesting stat for you. They're almost there. They need a point to qualify for the race-off.
Just 2 points between Great Britain and Australia, Nigel. It really was an entertaining race. Morris on the inside, but Danny King makes an absolutely fabulous start out of gate 2. Rips it to the first corner. Supreme first corner from him. Round the outside, Gino Manzarek. Then Nick Morris sets about Danny King out in front. And what a speedway race it was. The action through the 4 laps really was a sight to behold. Handlebar to handlebar, elbow to elbow. King then responding brilliantly to try and maintain that lead. Really had to dig deep. Really showed a lot of character. He had 3 second places prior to this heat. Comes up with a dramatic win here, a vital win, and gives his team a chance of making it through to the final next Saturday night. That was a special speedway race, right out of the top draw.
Yeah. Absolutely superb speedway here.
Big smiles there, no wonder.
Yeah, it was a super ride, wasn't it, from Danny King?
One of the best rides I've ever seen him have. He's been in super form this year, and got to say he's been doing sterling work for both clubs, but at this level sometimes it's a big step up, but by golly, that was an excellent ride.
2 points separate Australia and Great Britain, and Australia have the 2012 world champion Chris Holder off the outside gate here. The current world champion Greg Hancock represents the USA, and Chris Harris is the British boy off the inside gate. Tough ask for Chris Harris.
It is, but on the evidence of his racing so far tonight, he has been in top form. He's been making starts, which is great for him, and he's going to need to make something special here because Greg Hancock hasn't missed a start all night long. So great speedway race once again, real tension in the air. Holder on the outside, he's also under pressure.
This is heat number 16 before we go into the final 4 heats of nominated lineups. Here we go, and going into that first turn, Harris is there, but watch out for Holder around the outside. Harris needs to go wide and block the line. What a ride from Chris Harris, he's opened up the lead. Chris Holder is second now. Hancock coming around the outside for the USA, trying to battle through for third, but he's got a battle on with Bogdanov, the Latvian, and Hancock is in the back. But what about Chris Harris here? Are we about to see Great Britain go within a point of Australia going into the 4 nominated riders' heats?
What a night it's been for Chris Harris. Once again, didn't make a great reaction, but the bike pulled his arms off going to the first corner. Super first corner from Harris, and he's clearing off out in front. Hancock having problems out the back. Holder in second place, but Chris Harris, what a night he's enjoyed, doing great job for Team GB.
Chris Harris now coming out of turn 2 in the final lap. We're going into the final round of heats, 4 to go, with just a point separating Team Great Britain in red and Australia in white. We are going down to the wire. Pressure on the managers now. Over to Mark Lemon and Alan Rossiter to decide where they put their riders, in what order, with 4 heats to go. This with a place in the World Cup final on the line. And Chris Harris of Coventry Bees and Great Britain is their hero with 11 points out of a possible 12. Huge respect to Chris Harris.
What a night he's enjoying. It is huge respect. Crowd are on their feet once again. A fabulous night, and what a ride, what a lineup. 2 world champions in the race, and Harris absolutely storms away out in front and wins in fine style. Terrific ride.
This is how it stands with 4 heats to go. Make yourself a quick cup of tea, but don't go too far away.
No,
4 heats to go.
Don't leave the house.
Yeah, Australia 36, Britain 35, USA 20, Latvia have 6.
Well, what a ride from Chris Harris there. That really was something very special indeed. Not renowned for his starting. Doesn't make a great getaway, but the bike drives really well to the first corner. Holder coming from the outside. I thought for a moment the Holder was going to be able to use that swoop round the outside to his advantage. Hancock finally misses the start, and he's relegated to the back. But what a ride from Chris Harris. Absolutely sensational. The form he's shown tonight has been absolutely out of the top drawer. He's enjoying riding that new engine. Really has been working a treat, particularly from the tapes. Harris out in front wins another race. Just dropped 1 point this evening. Look at the reaction, and no wonder. Just a point between GB and the Aussies, all to race for.
Well, Chris Harris has been truly remarkable tonight. This will go down as one of the more memorable evenings of his career. He's had quite a few, but he really has stepped it up a level tonight and has been truly magnificent. Great Britain's top scorer as well, which is fantastic. Nick Morris joins our Polish colleagues.
Nick Morris wczoraj skończył 21 lat, a w tym biegu 13, 14, 15 dokładnie. Popełnił duży błąd na trzecim okrążeniu, no i nie wygrał tamtego wyścigu. Nick, happy birthday for you, for yesterday's. There was a small mistake you made in this 15 heat, right? In the third lap.
Yeah, I was kind of up the inside of him for the first couple of laps and just picked up a little bit coming off the corner, and it gave him enough room to just get over me. So, yeah, a bit disappointed with that one.
Żałuję bardzo tego 15 biegu, no bo ścigałem go cały czas, poszedłem troszkę do wewnętrznej przy tym trzecim biegu, no i to był błąd, bo tam się troszkę zakopałem, troszkę złapałem materiału i przez to straciłem szybkość. Nick, it's people say that it's the season of your life now, and it's a huge responsibility because it's only 1 point in between you and the English guys. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it is. I'm right. I feel like I'm riding the best I have, so happy with that. But yeah.
Surprised.
Oh, yeah. I know I can do it when I want to, so it's all coming into place this year. So tough times ahead now. We've got to push on, and England are running us really close, so tense times.
Anglicy naciskają nas bardzo mocno, ale teraz przed nami naprawdę bardzo ważna ta ostatnia seria. Widać, że Nick jest zaskoczony tym, jak dobrze mu się jeździ w tym roku. Potwierdza, że to jest zdecydowanie najlepszy sezon w jego dotychczasowej karierze. No i co, pozostało mu tylko to, żeby w tym ostatnim swoim wyścigu dzisiaj pokazać, że naprawdę forma jest wysoka. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nick Morris has been terrific on his World Cup debut tonight. Let's just remind you of how the standings are then, with 4 heats to go of nominated riders' races. Australia 36, Great Britain 35, USA 20 and Latvia have 16. So USA already secure in the race-off, we know that. So USA will join the Russians and the Poles in the race-off. And the other race-off nation will be Great Britain or Australia. 4 heats to go. We're going to be bringing you the picks from down in the pits area very shortly.
Well, this is going to be very interesting indeed, because there's going to be pressure on, making sure you got the right rider in the right race here. Mark Lemon now under a lot of pressure, just the point between them. Adam Rossiter also going to have to do plenty of work and a bit of homework prior to picking his riders for the last 4 heats. What a night of Speedway it's been. It really has been fantastic.
Let's hear from Steve Brandon to talk us through the draw.
Yeah, here we go. Vladimir Rybnikov from Latvia picks first, so he's going to go up and pick his riders in the yellow helmet for the last 4 heats. Not much to think about, but in heat 17, he's going to pick Andrzej Lebedev. And his second pick is going to be Yevgeny Kostagov, is going to go in yellow in heat 18. His third pick is going to be Kast Podruks. And his last pick in heat 20 his captain, Maxim Bogdanov. So that's a Latvian draw. Next up will be Billy Hamill, who's going to come up and place the riders for the blue helmets in the last 4 heats. Be interesting to see what Billy does. They've banked a place by the look of it in the race off, and he's just going to choose where he's going. So blue. So Gino Manzara is going to lead the blue team off in heat 17. Second pick for Billy Hamill in heat 18 is going to be Ryan Fisher. Greg Hancock, the world champion, goes in heat number 19 for America off gate 2. And the youngster Max Rummel will go in heat 20. So Billy Hamill's made his choices. The next one, very interesting. Alan Rossiter coming forward. They won here in event 1 last year. He's now got some choices to make. So the first rider for Great Britain in heat 17 will be Daniel King. He'll go out of gate 3. Next choice, the youngster Robert Lambert on his home track is going to go off gate 4 in heat 18. Now we get down to some big choices. Multiple British champion, Grand Prix winners. He's got lots to pick from and a world champion in there. Chris Harris is going to go in heat 19 off gate 1 for Great Britain. And last but not least, the 2013 world champion, Ty Wolfenden. So Mark Lemon's been watching all of this now, and he's going to come up as the top point scorers on the night by just 1 point, and he's got to place his guys in the last 4 races. So it'll be interesting to see what Mark Lemon comes up with here. He's thinking and having a little bit of a readjust of the program on the way past. So Nick Morris, the debutant, is going to go in heat 17. He'll be in gate 2. Heat number 18 is going to be Troy Batchelor, Grand Prix rider. Mark Lemon, the only team manager in the World Cup so far that's been able to pick 3 Grand Prix riders in his team. Now it comes down to it. Who faces Chris Harris and Greg Hancock? Jason Doyle, 2015 Grand Prix rider, is going to be in heat 19. And that leaves the 2012 world champion Chris Holder to round it out in heat 20. So there we are, folks. There's our lineups for heat 17, 18, 19 and 20 as it comes down to a 1-point shootout between Great Britain and Australia. Back to you, Nigel.
Thank you, Steve. And can you imagine if it goes to heat 20 and 2 world champions go head-to-head, Chris Holder and Ty Wolfenden? It is an appetising prospect.
And heat 17, we've got a replay of Nick Morris and Danny King. What a race they had last time out. Real neck-and-neck racing, and Cam Morris gained revenge on a wonderful ride from Danny King, who won his last ride. Dramatic drama we're going to witness, I'm sure, as we come to the conclusion of tonight's event.
Dramatic drama.
Dramatic drama. Overkill? Overkill. I think a little bit overkill. But it has been exciting stuff, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been brilliant.
It's been a great Speedway meeting. Yeah. A terrific advert for Speedway in Great Britain. Great track, super action, healthy crowd. Got to say, this is a super event.
And I think as well, Kelv, it's just, again, underlined what we said earlier, that this event is actually one of the highlights on the Speedway calendar, the British staging of the World Cup.
Yeah, and largely down to the way the track is prepared. You know, it's I've got to say that Keith Chapman, the promoter here, really does work awfully hard, and he is able to relay the track after practice and give us a brilliant racetrack. Riders thoroughly enjoy it. It's quite challenging because it's got a lot of grip on the track, and it is technically demanding as well. You've got to know your stuff out there, but if you do, it's one of the best tracks in the world. And year on year in the World Cup, we see some terrific Speedway here.
Yeah, fabulous, and very much looking forward to these last 4 heats, because if you do have to go to the race-off, you know you're going to come up against Poland. Yeah. Not to mention Russia, who've got some hard charges, so, you know, when you look at it, it's a daunting prospect.
It is, and the pressure's on. I've got to say that Morris and King, that's nip and tuck. Difficult to call that one. Such a great race last time, but King has shown good form, but so has King. Can he reproduce the sort of ride he did last time to get the better of the Australian? Looking at heat 18, Batchelor rode nicely last time, won comfortably, actually beat Lambert. That's another part 2, effectively, because they met in their last ride prior to the last 4 heats. Harris against Hancock. Harris getting the better of the world champion in his last ride. Can he repeat it from the inside gate? And Holder and Woofenden. What a showdown that could be.
Well, the track staff have left the circuit, so that suggests that any moment now the riders will be pushed off and ready for action. Just to remind you of the lineup for the last 4 heats. Look at that heat 20. If it goes down to that, it will be a shootout between the 2012 world champion Chris Holder and the 2013 world champion Ty Woofenden for a place in the World Cup final. It is going to be absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it will be. That really is a tasty encounter. I'm sure everybody here will be very keen to see that. Plenty of racing prior to that. This race indeed between King and Morris, I've got to say that possibly was the race of the night, with those two boys really going at it out in front. Woofenden rode brilliantly to come from last to first, but you've got to say that Morris and King, what a display they put on for us, really entertaining us. And King somewhere found the extra little bit of speed to get the better of Morris when he was coming at him like a train. King there, this is possibly one of the best performances he's ever done at this level, Nigel. Really has been impressive.
Yeah, and it bodes well for him with the British final coming up next week. And here we go, the riders, there's no doubt the nerves will be jangling here as they come out onto the track for the final 4 heats.
Well, here we go. It's going to be a really dramatic end to the night. It's a super racing prospect between Danny King and Nick Morris, who had a sensational race in their last heat. They came up against each other, and it really was a 4-lap encounter that King finally did the business. It's going to be difficult for him to do it again, I do believe, but he's been in very good form this evening, and Morris will have to work very hard.
So here we go then, heat number 17. Will it go the distance to heat number 20, or will Australia get the job done with that point advantage that they already have? You'd rather be in Australia's shoes right now than Great Britain's, because they have that extra point with just 4 heats to go and no margin for error. Here we go, pressure on. This is the business end of the meeting. Last 4 heats coming up. It's crunch time here in Kings Lynn. Anze Lebedev goes off the inside in yellow for Latvia. Gate number 2 in white is Nick Morris for Australia. Danny King, gate 3 in red for Great Britain. And Gino Manzarez goes off the outside in blue for the USA. Australia lead by a point here. The nerves are going to be jangling. The tension is all around this arena here in Norfolk tonight. 4 heats to go. Australia with a point in hand.
Yeah, point in hand. It could not really be very much closer. It could be equal, of course. Morris is coming out of gate 2. Gate 2 has been really successful tonight. King made a great start from there in their previous encounter. Can Morris now use gate 2 to his advantage?
Here we go, heat number 17, and Morris has made an absolute beauty, and King's caught in traffic. This could be disaster for Great Britain. Danny King has to do something. He's in the back. Oh my goodness, Great Britain, if it stays like this, will be 4 down with 3 to go. This is the worst possible scenario as King charges up the inside now into 3rd place. That will make it a 3-point deficit, and now he has to try and get past the Latvian Lebedev, who's in the yellow helmet colour. But what a ride here for Nick Morris for Australia, the man who has English parents, could have ridden for Team Great Britain tonight, but plugged for Australia.
What a start it was from Nick Morris. He really did use that gate 2 to full advantage. This time King just got squeezed out going in the first corner. Andre Lebedev's in 2nd place. Is doing Great Britain no favours whatsoever. He's doing a massive favour for the Australians. It's been poor all night, but King just can't find a way through. Morris has got this one.
Morris looking super quick here for Australia, and there's no way through for Danny King. No way through, and that gives Australia a 3-point cushion with 3 races to go. And with all the big build-up to the last 4 heats, that has put Australia in a great position to go straight through to the World Cup final.
He has been a star for the Australians this evening. He's been fast every time he was out there. He got beaten up by King in their previous encounter, but in heat 17 he made no mistake at all. Brilliant start away from the gate 2 position. What a ride from Nick Morris.
And this is what it means overall. Australia 39, Great Britain 36, USA 20, Latvia 8. And now Australia in the last 3 heats have 3 Grand Prix riders to call on. Huge advantage to Australia now.
Indeed it is. They've got plenty of quality to call upon. Got a feel for Danny King there, just didn't quite make the start he was looking for. We'll see it again. Morris out of gate 2. Gate 2's been really strong all night. And here in heat 17, it provides Nick Morris with a super start. And he charges down the back straight. Danny King just not quite managing to get out of gate 3. Gets stuck in traffic. And then Andrei Lebedev, who's hardly done anything all night long, had 1 second place and a 3rd place previously, comes up with possibly his best ride on the night and keeps the Great Britain man back in 3rd place, and that gives a handy advantage with 3 heats to go to the Australians. Nick Morris coming of age here in the World Cup.
Danny King just got stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
And, well, it is now or never for Great Britain. They really have to peg it back here. They've got Troy Batchelor for Australia and Robert Lambert for Great Britain. What a position to be in for the 17-year-old on his World Cup debut. And, well, it is going to be something special if Lambert can get out of the traps here and get the better of Troy Batchelor, who will fancy his chances with a 3-point cushion.
He will. He goes off the inside. No, he goes off gate 3, excuse me. Lambert coming out here.
Lambert goes off the outside gate in red here, heat number 18. So it's gate number 3 for Troy Batchelor, and Robert Lambert will be on the outside. Just a reminder, if Great Britain do go through to the race-off and not the final itself, the race-off is this coming Thursday from Vojens, Denmark. Kelvin and myself will be out there, and at 6 o'clock UK time, it will be on Quest TV. Quest TV this coming Thursday night. And that is the race-off in the UK. As far as I'm aware, all other worldwide broadcasting as per normal, but Quest is the channel you need for Thursday night for the World Cup race-off.
Yeah, can't wait for that, but I tell you what, I can't wait for this race either. Brilliant showdown. Troy Batchelor getting the better of Lambert last time out. Can Lambert now do something special from the outside? And he needs to. Such a young man, what a baptism of fire. It really is quite special indeed. He's going to have to remain composed on the start line. Batchelor, of course, now vastly experienced, a fully fledged Grand Prix man. Got to say, on paper, the Australians are in the driving seat here.
Yeah, well, they have a 3-point cushion, and it's huge pressure now on Robert Lambert. It's a lot to ask for this young man. Touched the tapes earlier in the night, of course, as the pressure mounted. Here we go. Heat number 18. 10 tries. Now Batchelor's made a decent one off gate number 3, looking super smooth. Can Lambert go high and wide around the outside? He's going to have to switch. He's going to have to switch up the inside, and Batchelor around the outside. Lambert's at the back, and it's looking like game over. If it stays like this, he would need 2 wins for Great Britain and 2 last places for Australia. Lambert comes through now. He's in traffic. He's getting caught in all sorts of trouble. He's at the back, and Batchelor is kicking on.
Well, experience there of the Australians is paying massive dividends. Lambert just not quite getting there, getting caught on the outside, getting into 3rd place now. Ryan Fisher's in 2nd place. Batchelor, once again, a superstar from gate 3, controlling the race. He's comfortable out in front. Super end of the night for Troy Batchelor after a slightly disappointing start.
What a move from Lambert.
Lambert now getting the better of Ryan Fisher, up the inside into 2nd place. Good ride there from the youngster, but is it enough?
Well, he's gone from last to 2nd, and huge credit for him for that. But Troy Batchelor is going to pick off a vital victory for Australia, and that gives them a 4-point lead with 2 heats to go. It's just not gone Britain's way with heats 17 and 18, and now Australia are 4 clear of Great Britain with only 2 heats remaining. But huge credit to Troy Batchelor. He really has delivered the goods for Australia in the last couple of races he's been in.
Yeah.
And Robert Lambert, from last to 2nd, I think he can hold his head high. And on his World Cup debut, he's given it absolutely everything and has scored 8 points for Great Britain in the World Cup, and he's getting a standing ovation here as well.
Good
Such
effort.
a shame we won't see him in the British final next Monday at Wolverhampton.
Tis a shame.
Failed to qualify and didn't get a wild card. Australia 42, Great Britain 38, USA 21 and Latvia 8. But Batchelor, well, he could prove to be a match winner as we move into heat 19. And it's Jason Doyle out for Australia next.
Yeah, well, Troy Batchelor had a steady start to tonight, 2 second places, a 3rd, and then really has picked it up, has won races in his final outings. And here we see coming out of gate 3, makes the superstar. Concentration on the tapes are up. It's neck and neck, but Lambert just gets caught on the outside there, and it's really crowded as he comes out of the first corner, and fair play to the youngster. He works really hard to get the better of the two boys in front of him, up the inside initially, and then gets the better of Ryan Fisher. But unfortunately for Team Great Britain, Troy Batchelor is comfortable down in front. This time, having to work overtime, Robert Lambert. Possibly if he hadn't touched the tapes earlier on tonight, it might have been a little bit closer. But fair play to him, he rides a good ride here, getting the better of Fisher. Sweet as you like up the inside. But Troy Batchelor out in front, doing the business for the Australians. 2 races to go, 4 points in front. It's looking good for the Aussies.
Yep, so quite simply now, if Australia finish this race more than 3 points clear of Great Britain, they are certainties for the World Cup final. And they have worked hard, and huge credit Troy Batchelor. He's not the most high-profile member of the Australian side. They have Chris Holder, of course, the world champion from 2012, but Batchelor, we've seen in Copenhagen previously in the GP, he can go through a card for most of the meeting at the highest level. Here we go with heat 19. Chris Harris off the inside in red for Great Britain. Greg Hancock goes off gate number 2 in blue for the USA. Kas Podzuks for Latvia off gate 3. And Jason Doyle for Australia going off the outside in white.
Well, it doesn't get any easier, does it? You know, it's a quality lineup once again. Harris has been outstanding for Team Great Britain, just dropping a point. Hancock has been a little up and down. He started like a house on fire, then inexplicably has dropped points. Doyle's been good. He's a major threat. He could tie it up for the Aussies here.
Yep, here we go then, heat number 19. Chris Harris has been magnificent tonight for Great Britain. Hancock was a little bit jumpy at the start and has been impeding Chris Harris in the first turn, and the Latvian has gone down in that first turn, Podzuks. But he's back up, and the battle is on here with Harris having the advantage now. Super right from him, but Jason Doyle is charging hard underneath Greg Hancock, going into the next lap here. Good speedway between 3 high-quality riders. Hancock could do Great Britain a favour, but Doyle holds second.
Well, how on earth Harris stayed on? There was a real clash going to the first corner between Harris and Hancock, but Doyle's coming at Harris like a million, like a rocket. Jumps to the inside, Harris reads it, closes the door! Doyle running up the back of Chris Harris. Harris ran the outside. Sorry, Doyle ran the outside. Brilliant ride from Jason Doyle.
This is the ride that will take Australia straight through to Saturday's World Cup final in Voyens, Denmark. It is a majestic move from Jason Doyle of Australia. Britain's brave bid is over for tonight. They have to focus on 48 hours from now, and the World Cup race-off, more than 48 hours, Thursday night in Denmark, Voyens. And that is the race-off for Great Britain. So now we know that the race-off itself will be Poland, Russia, Great Britain and the USA, and only the winners take all.
Yeah, brilliant race meeting on Thursday night. Doyle on the back wheel celebrating in style. What a ride from him. Coming through the traffic there, it was a hectic first corner. There was a big clash between Harris and Hancock going into the first corner. Harris got up the inside, couldn't quite maintain the speed. Doyle had more speed, got himself to the front, clinches the meeting for the Australians. They've ridden brilliantly tonight. Fully deserves to go through to the final.
Yep, very much so. Congratulations to Australia. They win tonight's meeting. That is the match-winning ride from Jason Doyle, who has been superb for them this evening. 3 wins now for Jason Doyle.
Watch this. Harris all over the back of Greg Hancock.
Some referees would have pulled that back.
May have done. Polish referee tonight didn't. Jason Doyle off the outside, misses it initially. Hancock there with Harris clambering all over, and how on earth he stays on the bike. Miraculously, he actually then gets himself to the front right round the inside. Unfortunately for Chris Harris, he isn't able to stay in front because the speed of Jason Doyle is just too high. And here we see Doyle coming hard. He then runs up the back. Watch this. This gets awfully close. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Doyle then recovers to swoop round the outside of Harris to get himself to the front. That is so close for him, giving a massive high side. Doyle then winds it on round the outside. Super ride from him.
He wanted the job done before heat 20, didn't he?
I'll say.
Jason Doyle.
Well, he's stolen the glory. He's cleaned up for him.
Didn't need to, though. When he got that close, it could have ended in tears, Kelvin.
He's a racer.
He could have ruled himself out of the rest of the tournament.
Mark Lemon delighted with that noise, but you're right. But he wasn't thinking that way, was he? He just wanted to see the checkered flag.
very much so. So just to confirm then, Heat 19, here we see it. Doyle, Harris, Hancock and Podzooks. USA have done enough tonight, despite Hancock only getting one from his last couple of outings. But anyway, it's been a super night of Speedway. Hope you can join us on Thursday for the race-off in Vojens, Denmark, where Great Britain will go head-to-head with the USA once again, as well as Poland and Russia. Should be a cracking night in Denmark on Thursday. Really looking forward to that. And Chris Holder goes off the inside with Ty Woffenden off 2, Max Rummel off 3, and Maxim Bogdanov going off the outside. 2 world champions off the inside 2 gates here. Final race of the night, heat number 20. Bit of rivalry between Holder and Woffenden. Holder has got the drop, but Holder knows that his side are through to the final, and Woffenden has that lead for Great Britain now. Ty Woffenden of Team Great Britain holds the inside line. Oh my goodness, all in trouble there at the back of the race, but Woffenden has it under control.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Ty Woffenden. Makes a super start. Just momentarily there, I thought Bogdanov was coming off. Max Rummel then has to pull the plug a little bit. He looked fast on the opening lap and rolls the throttle off. Holder in second place. Woffenden's going to finish off in style. Won't be enough. He's enjoyed a super night, Ty Woffenden. Just dropping a couple of points in his second ride. But the Australians are cruising through here. Second place is more than enough for them. But Woffenden with a lap to go. He's going to finish in style.
But a super night of Speedway. Woffenden with a rare appearance on a British track, riding on the continent this year and in the Grand Prix Series. Still hugely popular throughout the UK. He's got a joint top score for Great Britain with Chris Harris. Wins the final race of the night. But it's Australia who go through to the Monster Energy FIM World Speedway Cup final this coming Saturday night, where they will be up against the host nation, Denmark and Sweden. So we know 3 of the 4 finalists, Denmark, Sweden and Australia, and the winners of the race-off from Thursday will join them as well.
Yeah, super night, as you rightly say. Former world champion, championship leader this year, wins the final race in style. Not enough for Team GB because the Australians have been super consistent. Their strength in depth probably paying dividends. They're coming up with some big heats in the final races. Nick Morris, superb. Troy Batchelor winning back-to-back races. Jason Doyle, what a ride that was to get the better of Chris Harris. Super stuff from him. Woffenden class. Good effort from Team GB. Can't take too much away from them. They've ridden brilliantly this evening, but the Australians are through to the final. And what a night it's going to be on Thursday. The race-off is a meeting not to be missed.
Here we see here number 20, the result. Woffenden, Holder, Bogdanov, Rummel, the finishing order. 20 heats done and dusted. Fans making their way out of the stadium now after a hugely enjoyable night of Speedway. It's finished like this. Australia 47, Great Britain 43, USA 22, and Latvia 9. Woffenden still going round doing a wheelie demonstration for the British fans, which is good to see.
Clearly enjoying himself. As you said, Nigel, it's a rare opportunity for the British fans to see him. We see it again. He makes Gate 2 work well, as plenty of riders have done all night long. Clear into the first corner and dominates the race. Very comfortable out in front. He's shown terrific speed. Chris Holder back in second place. A little bit out of shape there momentarily with his front wheel right over the inside. Just grabbing a little bit of extra grip right down by the white line. But Ty Woffenden, supreme out in front, showing great style, pleasing the home crowd.
Well, he's still going.
Just can't get him off the track.
Yeah, it's his comments earlier when he was saying he's pleased to be back on a British track. Here's the final scores tonight, and this is what it means overall. Australia 47, they go straight through to the final. Britain and the USA. This is the format of the tournament now. So the final is Denmark, Sweden and Australia, and we now know the race-off lineup. Poland, Russia, Great Britain and the USA. A great lineup for the race-off. Ty Woffenden still going strong, by the way, doing a wheelie demonstration.
Maybe he's doing a bit of fitness training, but he's certainly not at all keen to leave the track. Riding around, he's done at least 8 laps now, having won the race, and then showboating. Here he is, once again, down the start and finish straight. Another different style of wheelies, but thoroughly enjoying himself. And the fans that are leaving in their droves are being entertained on their way out.
Yeah, they're loving it. The fans are absolutely loving this from Ty. And fair play to him. He's had a good night, 13 points. I think he's going to need being told to get back to the pits.
But he's done about 10 laps now. He can't be far away from running out of fuel. Here we go, one last time maybe. Down the back straight, brilliant stuff from Woofenden.
Well, certainly the fans in Great Britain don't see him so much these days.
Here we go again.
What on earth is going on?
Red flags out.
They're having to red flag him.
They've red flagged him. Fair play to him. He's giving the fans plenty of value for money. Ty Woofenden, super to see him here. And I'm sure he's really enjoyed tonight riding at Kings Lynn, a club and a track he loves, and he's pleased to be here. So yeah, super display from him.
Well, we're waiting just for some reaction down in the pits area tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the meeting here at Kings Lynn. Really has been a smashing night of Speedway. Fans making their way out of the stadium now. It really does get very, very busy here around the surrounding areas after a World Cup event. Let's get some reaction now with Steve Brandon.
Greg Hancock summing that up. It looks like job done for America.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we achieved our goal that we wanted to get to the race-off, and that's a good thing. We still want to be a lot better, and there's plenty of time for that.
But the project of developing young riders and getting guys international experience, getting them up to speed, that is working.
Yeah, it's definitely working. You can see that it's going to take time. We know it's not going to happen overnight, but it's definitely the project. Everything is, the wheels are in motion, and we're getting there.
And for the senior gentlemen in the team, that was an up and down night for you.
It was, it started out really good, and as the track thickened off, it was really having a hard time getting myself adjusted with the equipment. And but hey, that's racing. I got no excuses.
All right, listen, have a good couple of days off with the boys, and we'll see you in Denmark.
You got it. See you guys in Denmark.
Super riding there from Greg Hancock.
Chris Holder, job done for you as well.
Yeah, boys did awesome. We all scored quite good. Nick Morris, hat off to him for his first go here, and he was one of our top dogs tonight. So fair play to him, and Doyley, Troy did a job as well. So we're stoked to go through to the final now.
You mentioned that to come into a World Cup meeting, everyone in double figures, everyone winning races. It couldn't have gone any better, really.
Nah, it went perfect. We did what we needed to do. We didn't do anything stupid, and that's the main thing. And we'll be there Saturday, ready to go again.
And we talked about it earlier in the day. Probably this year with Poland in the race-off, one to avoid.
Yeah, you don't want to be going there. Boyens can be a tricky track at times, and no doubt it's probably going to be raining. And we're pretty happy we're not going to be there on Thursday, but we'll see what happens on Thursday and get through on get there Saturday and do our best.
All right, good luck with the rest of the week. Thanks. Ty Woofenden, Great Britain captain, you seem to have a lot of extra laps at the end of the night tonight.
Yeah, we didn't get through, but I thought I'd do some wheelies for the fans, so yeah, hope they enjoyed it.
But for you guys tonight, a story of sort of so close but so far.
Yeah, it was a tough night. We knew it was going to be, and the Aussie boys were strong all the way through, and a few points for our boys dropped here and there, and that's the end of it, But we'll go to the race off. It's going to be another tough one, so we'll just have to give it everything we've got.
Just looking at race off, always a tough meeting, but a meeting that you guys can go into with some confidence based on tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said before, it's a pretty kind of like an English track, so it's going to be good fun, and I think we fly out on Thursday.
All right, just a quick word lastly, the fans seem to enjoy you riding here. They loved you doing the laps at the end. It's great to ride in front of a British crowd.
It is for sure, and it's good that I can do some laps here, and British Championship next Monday. That's going to be a big one for me. I haven't really turned a speedway bike like I'm going to have to at Wolves all year, so it's definitely going to be tough, but followed by Cardiff, that's going to be amazing.
All right, thanks for your time, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you.
Well, what a night it was. It was a great effort for Speedway in this part of the world. All credit to Kings Lynn and the Adrian Flux Arena. It really has been a super night. The Australians have come through nights, but all in all, everybody's been royally entertained.
I'd agree with that totally, and again, this meeting doesn't disappoint. The Kings Lynn stages of either event 1 or 2 is fantastic in the calendar, the World Speedway calendar. It's one of the highlights, and the way the British fans turn out here.
Yeah.
And this year as well, there's the British final coming up at Wolverhampton next Monday. Then the British Grand Prix is the next Grand Prix as well. So exciting times for Speedway in Great Britain.
In a matter of a month, we've got 3 huge events in this part of the world, and all events that are always well turned out. The British final next Monday is a hugely competitive night. But this evening, Kings Lynn and the Australians, it's their night, but fabulous speedway we've witnessed.
Yeah, congratulations, Australia. Fantastic tonight. Just a quick thought, Kelvin. Chris Holder admitted he's pleased that Australia aren't in the race-off. Your brief thoughts on the race-off? Who's going to emerge from that? Poland will be the favourites, I assume.
Really tough night. It's a meeting that ideally you'd want to avoid. I think Great Britain have got a chance, but the Poles, without doubt, go into that meeting firm favourites.
Enjoyed your company again tonight, Kel. Look forward to seeing you in Denmark on Thursday for the race-off of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. We hope wherever you are in the world you've enjoyed our coverage tonight from the Norfolk Arena, and very much looking forward to the race-off on Thursday and Saturday, the World Cup final. So should be a terrific conclusion to the World Cup campaign. Then the Grand Prix resumes the first weekend in July in Cardiff. So exciting times for World Championship Speedway. Well done to Mark Lemon and Chris Holder and the rest of the Australian side. A well-deserved victory for them in front of a terrific crowd and a great atmosphere once again here at the Norfolk Arena tonight. Fans making their way out. Car park's always very busy on a night like this, but it's really been a great atmosphere, and we'll look forward to welcoming you again on Thursday for our coverage from Voyens. From me, Kelvin Tatum, from me, Nigel Pearson, and him, Kelvin Tatum, we'll see you on Thursday in Voyens. Atmosphere at the Norfolk Arena once again for one of the highlights of the Speedway calendar as Team Great Britain go in front of their home fans. It's very patriotic and very lively in a terrific atmosphere, and a glorious hot sunny night greeted the teams. It was always going to be a close shootout between Great Britain and the USA to see who would emerge as straight winners to qualify through to the World Cup final. When you bear in mind that Poland are in the race-off, that was one meeting you needed to avoid. Chris Harris in terrific form, dropping just 2 points all night for Team Great Britain. Ty Woffington, the World Championship leader as well. The action was fast and furious and no quarter asked or given. Woffington coming from last to first in one spectacular swoop to delight the home fans. A mixed night for Greg Hancock, and some close situations as well, as riders just avoided collisions, and it really went down to the closing stages between Great Britain and Australia. It all boiled down to the last 4 heats, and it was a straight shootout as predicted between those two. USA had already got the points in the bag, which was sufficient to go through to the race-off. Latvia were poor by previous standards, and it went all the way down to heats 17 to 20, and the vital tactical moves of the team managers to decide who goes where in the running for the last few heats. Eventually, it was Australia. Nick Morris on his World Cup debut. A stunning debut it was. He opened up the lead for Australia with 3 heats to go. Robert Lambert just ran out of room but came from last to second, but alas, it wasn't enough. And Jason Doyle in heat number 19 got the job done, passing Chris Harris to get Australia straight through to the World Cup final. Ty Woffington won his last ride, heat number 20, but ultimately it's Australia who go through, and they will face Denmark and Sweden in Voyens, Denmark this coming Saturday for the Monster Energy World Cup final.
Speedway World Cup.